cordially request all the esteemed guests to occupy the dais.
Vice Chancellor Sir, I request you to occupy the dais. Dr. Madurai, Shri Dubey, Professor KSK, Dr. Sandeep Mittal,
நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் மதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டனிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறகுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனே தமிழனே உன் சீரிழமை திறமையந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Let us begin. Our warm welcome to our respected chief guest, Shri Dubey, Dr. Sandeep Mittal, and our guest of honor, Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, Vice Chancellor, Dr. R. Vellore, and all the dignitaries on the dais, and all the students gathered here. We warmly welcome you all to the Tamilnadu Drone Technology Enabling Training and Festival 2021, organized by the Center of Aerospace Research Remote Pilot Training Organization in association with Technology Enabling Center CTDTAU at MIT campus of Anna University. It's a great honor for us to host such a grand festival at our university where eminent personalities such as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and Dr. K. Sivan pursue their education and research. This festival is going to enlighten the engineers and young entrepreneurs to develop drones and implement the concept of one village, one drone system for ensuring the drone technology in governance reach the masses.
Further, this program will enable 5 farmers or rural entrepreneurs from each 6 venue to join DGCA certified pilot training program worth of rupees 18 lakhs at our CASR-RPTO for free of cost. CASR is grateful for our sponsors, Tamilnadu Industrial Development Corporation TIDCO, Daksha, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, Anna University CASR-RPTO, Zupa, R-Fly, Aerospace R&D, E-Plane, Planet X, Analytics, Maptree, EOS, Kaveri Aerospace for their wholehearted support. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Dr. T. Tyagarajan, Dean of MIT Campus, Anna University, to welcome the gathering.
Very esteemed chief guest of today's function, Shri Dubey, most respected Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Dr. R. Vellore, the guest of honor, Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, the illustrious IPS officer, Dr. Sandeep Mittal, the drone man of Tamil Nadu, Professor Dr. KSK, heads of various departments, distinguished dignitaries, student friends, the proud stall exhibitors, very good morning to all of you. It's indeed a very unique honor and rare privilege to deliver welcome address on this auspicious occasion, the Tamil Nadu Drone Technology Enabling Training and Festival 2021. Shri Dubey sir, the place where you are sitting was the place where Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, delivered the first convocation address in this campus. Professor Vellore sir, that is the place where Madam Indira Gandhi, when she was in office, inaugurated the Silver Jubilee celebration of this great campus. Another sir, that is the place where Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, when he was President of India, inaugurated an international conference. That is the legacy of this great campus, which was formed by the philanthropist, by the educationist, Shri C. Rajam in the year 1949. The visionary founder thought when people are having the branches like civil, mechanical, electrical, he thought there must be a branch of engineering like aerospace, automobile, instrumentation and electronics engineering. Rightly in the path of his vision, today the aerospace department produced Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Kalam, the 11th President of India. The legacy continues. The same aerospace department with the CASR, first time in the history of the world in association with ISRO, developed indigenously the microsatellite which has got 1,000 days in the orbit. And today the legacy continues under the dynamic leadership of Dr. KSK. The drone technology, the UAV technology is continuing. You name an area, there is a putting of this drone inside Tamilnadu, inside India and across the globe. That's the greatness of this department. I extend a very warm welcome to our Chief Guest, Shri Dubey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India, and also the Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National Aviation University, Uttar Pradesh. Let us welcome him, a big applause to this great campus. I am also honored to welcome Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, the moon man of this country, the Vice Chairman of Tamilnadu State Council for Science and Technology. Let's give a big applause to Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, who not only helps us in all kinds of aspects, he is the Executive Committee member of CASR, Center for Aerospace Research, Anna University, steering us, guiding us, and holding us in every endeavor. Dr. Annadurai sir, thank you very much for your gracious presence. We have amidst us a humble man, a simple man, modest man from a remote place, Nagarkoil. Joined this great institute about 2.5 decades back as a lecturer, and today he is occupying the highest position any academician can dream of, the Vice Chancellor of the world's largest technological university, Anna University, Professor Dr. R. Vellore, a pragmatic policy maker, a socially conscious researcher, an administrator with impeccable professional career, an icon in the field of energy and restoring devices. I extend a very warm welcome to you, Professor Vellore sir, on behalf of the young minds present here. I also extend a warm welcome to ADGP, Coastal Security Group, Tamilnadu Police, Dr. Sandip Mittal, IPS. In spite of his hectic schedule and the review meetings by the Tamilnadu State Government, he made it a point. The affinity goes on during the training programs conducted by Dr. Sendil Kumar for the Police Academy. I profusely thank you, Dr. Sandip Mittal sir, for your gracious presence. I also extend a warm welcome to the Satyanarayan Chakravarti, Professor is here, and Department of Aerospace, IIT Madras, for his gracious presence in spite of his hectic schedule. And extend a warm welcome to Dr. G. Ravikumar, Registrar in charge in absentia. Welcome to my trusted lieutenants, HOD Production, Dr. Siddharthan, RPT, Dr. Nachimuthu, Dr. Gunasekaran, Computer Technology, and Dr. Ganesh Madan, Electronics Department. I also extend a warm welcome to the panel discussion members, the Deputy Director Sarvana Kumar, and all the student members, the stall exhibitors, the dignitaries from various parts of the fields associated with the CSR. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for your pleasant welcome. We are indeed proud to be part of such a prestigious institution. Moving on, I request Director of CASR, Dr. K. Kumar, a part of Drone Legend team, to describe about the drone technology with a presentation.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Good morning to all. On behalf of Anna University, once again I welcome all the members on dais, off dais, as well as the participating members from various industries and the various technocrats and the young farmers over the Tamilnadu. So I don't want to take much time. We need to hear many things from Shri Dubey, as well Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, as well as Dr. Sandip Mittal and our beloved Vice Chancellor Dr. Vellore sir. I'd like to present the achievements of CASR video about 5 minutes.
The NDMA, Government of India, offered a project titled Scoping Study on Role of UAVs in Disaster Management to CASR, Anna University on March 1st, 2021 with duration of 8 months. This project aims to enhance the role of advanced modern technological systems, that is, UAVs characterize their benefits in various phases of disaster management activities.
Anna University created an autonomous center called Center for Aerospace Research to promote aerospace-related research in the university. In December 2001, CASR has been doing research in the field of unmanned aerial vehicles for 2 decades. The government of Tamilnadu provided financial assistance of Rs 20 crores to CASR in 2016 as part of the Tamilnadu Innovation Initiatives program to develop various types of drones for various applications. The indigenously designed and developed UAVs by the faculty members and researchers are multi-rotor UAV, electric type and gasoline type, fixed wing, vertical takeoff and landing, tethered UAV, vertical takeoff and horizontal transition UAV, helicopter UAV. The drone is an emergency technology that can be utilized in various disaster management operations using a time-scaled separation of the application, like pre-disaster activity, during disaster and post-disaster tasks. It ensures the safer, faster and more effective management of disaster relief operations. The CASR in 2013 and 2015, the team was involved to save victims in relief and rescue operations of the Uttarakhand and Chennai flood.
Apart from this, the CASR drone has been utilized in various disaster events in Tamilnadu, such as Maulivakam building collapse, Kurangani forest fire, crowd monitoring in different events, and Vellore oil spill in Chennai to rescue operation.
UAV aerial photogrammetry mapping was done all over the Tamilnadu to identify the flood-prone zone.
Drone-based mapping was carried out over the disaster-affected areas in Gaja and Varga cyclones to assess damages and estimate the losses.
The team has successfully completed in the Australian Medical Challenge to retrieving a blood sample from inaccessible locations. Recently, the hybrid drone were utilized in biological event of COVID-19 pandemic situation to spray the biodisinfectant solution for disrupt the COVID-19 transmission at Chennai, Tiruvallur and Nagapattinam districts in Tamilnadu. This study reveals that the different types of UAV platform and payload like optical, multispectral, thermal camera, dropping mechanism, PA system, spraying mechanism, searchlight and network equipment useful to predict disaster-prone areas, delivering real-time image and video of disaster scenario, delivery of food, medicine, relief materials, public announcement, firefighting, nighttime rescue, and establishing temporary communication network, etc. to prevent, manage, and mitigate the disaster risk efficiently.
Immediate UAV deployment for unpredicted disaster may require permission from DGCA and other competent authorities to operate UAVs at beyond visual line of sight.
The UAV policy changes, exemption classes, clearances might be combined with DGCA and other relevant stakeholders.
CASR happy to share that we are the approved remote pilot training organization from DGCA. It helps to generate human resource to address the disaster management using drones as a force multiplier. Along with Daksha Consortium, we are working for experimental beyond visual line of site analysis for pertinent disaster management.
In future, the NDMA and CASR will effectively frame the standard operating procedure, guidelines, framework using drone to enhance disaster prevention, mitigation, preparedness and response activities in all over India.
Thank you all. With this note, I think you may be witnessed CASR-RPTO, called Remote Pilot Training Organization, first of its kind, has been approved to Anna University. Great thanks to Rajashekar sir from DGCA. Without their effort and with the official support from Amber Dubey sir, it won't be happened. And give a big applause to them. For India's first drone training school, very soon we are going to launch. Some few approvals are required. Also, I would like to invite Mr. Nagarajan, Director of Higher Education from Government of Gujarat. He is a 2008 IAS officer. After hearing the function, he came all the way from the Gujarat and landed in the morning. He wanted to attend this function and want to interact with all the stakeholders of the drone community. And as well, I would like to thank Mr. Krishnamurthy, a special officer from Tamilnadu Defence Corridor, and other my dear colleagues, HODs and other faculty members. With this note, recently we received India's Swarm Drone Award. I would like to play the 3 minutes video. With that, I'll close my remarks. Please play the Air Force video. It's a milestone achievement for any one of the startup. We started in the year 2000, now we are in 2021. In these 20 years, we received huge awards. Awards from DARPA, USA, and awards from Australia, and awards from various Middle East companies. And very recently in October, Indian Air Force competition called Meher Baba, which is the milestone benchmark of any one of the industry startup. So it will be the wonderful lesson for all the startup here. Please collaborate with the major universities and research institutes like IITs, so we will get a lot of energy. Please go to the video of Air Force.
This competition, which was aimed at developing swarms for military applications, has also provided an impetus for defense startups with emphasis on innovative solutions. The Air War Strategy Cell created a competition on lines with the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat to indigenously design the unmanned capability. Competition was announced on 3rd of October 2018 by the Chief of Air Staff on the eve of 86th Air Force Day. Competition was conducted in 3 phases with 154 participating teams. Out of these, 54 teams were shortlisted for the first phase. Only 20 teams made it to the second phase, where each team were reimbursed rupees 25 lakhs. Further, 5 teams made it to the final stage, for which they were granted rupees 2.5 crores, which incidentally is the largest amount ever given as grant by any government entity in any competition till date. This competition will serve as a benchmark for future as the civil startups become more attuned to military needs and would inculcate the approach of creative thinking towards the India's defense sector.
The company held in 3 years. It's a 3 years continuous event. It has been witnessed by many Air Force officials.
The award
Very soon our government is going to announce it very officially.
Daksha Unmanned Systems Private Limited from Anna University.
Anna University. With this note, I would like to welcome Shri sir, from Senior Manager, TITCO, who has supported in many occasions for us. During the swarm drone competitions, they helped us a lot. As well as we have another guest from TITCO, Wing Commander Madhusudan, as well as KPMG, Mr. Thomas. Welcome you all, sir. So with this note, I would like to thank my entire swarm team members in this occasion. They work like 5 years only for swarm drones. About 45 plus members, they work only for swarm drones. Now India is competing with Turkey and other developed nations like Israel. Israel is known to be drone of invention. Now we are competing with Israeli nations and we have enough technology. With the support, technical support from Anna University and other support from TITCO and other users, definitely within 5 years we can expect Tamilnadu to become hub of the Indian drones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the detailed and informative presentation on the various activities and achievements of CASR. We are much obliged for your constant dedication and commitment towards the organization, sir. Next, I request our Honorable and renowned Vice Chancellor of Anna University, Dr. R. Vellore, to present the program launch address.
Respected Chief Guest of this important function, Shri Dubey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India, and Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National Aviation University, Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, Vice Chairman, Tamilnadu State Council for Science and Technology, Dr. Sandeep Mittal, ADGP Postal Security Group, Tamilnadu Police, Dean, MIT Campus, Dr. Tyagarajan, Director, Center for Aerospace Research, Dr. Sendil Kumar, and dignitaries, particularly members from TEDCO, Dr. Elangovan and his teams, and Mr. Rajesh Shekhar from DGCA and his team members, various startup companies, professors from MIT and other invitees. Very good morning to one and all. I am very happy to address this gathering. It's an important event for our MIT, particularly Center for Aerospace Research. Dr. Sendil Kumar has demonstrated all his hard work which he has made in the 20 years and achievements made in some 10 minutes. It's an appreciable work. First, I would like to congratulate Dr. Sendil Kumar and his team, his center, all team members for the wonderful work they have done for the last few years. We should give a very good clap for this team. பறவையை கண்டான், விமானத்தை படைத்தான். பாயும் மீன்களில் படகினை கண்டான். எதிரொலி கேட்டான், வானொலியை படைத்தான். Our great poets, when they see the nature, they see lot of innovation. Our scientists also make lot of invention and innovation on seeing the nature. The nature, everything is available. Whatever the invention we are seeing, everything is available in the nature. As a scientist, I am also one of the scientists in energy field. I have done lot of research, but the ultimatum, when we do something more beyond what is available in the earth, if we start looking the nature, we will get the answer. If we start looking the nature, even in the human system, lot of invention. It's a miraculous machine. All civil engineering, mechanical engineering, control and instrumentation, computer technology, electronics. For all engineering technology, the ultimatum is there in the human system. Otherwise, if you start looking the nature, you can see every day some invention you can make. This technology, it's a drone technology. First, I would like to thank this founder of this institution. Must be a visionary. When all engineering colleges have started the regular civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, this institute has unique specialized branches like aerospace, automobile and control and instrumentation which was started very early. These are technologies for commercial development and also this instrumentation and control which is useful for all branches of engineering. It's a pioneering institute, has done wonderful achievements there is lot of unique things made by these departments and centers. Okay, for any technology to grow, okay, science, engineering, technology, for any technology to grow and finally to commercialize in a large scale, various steps required. First, it's a concept and science behind that. For example, this drone technology, okay, the fundamental things in aerodynamics, lift, drag, what is the payload, what energy required to drive this, all these concepts, this scientist will look into that. Then the next step in research will be material research we need to. So we should make it very light. So this fundamental aeronautics too, one should go towards material side. That will make the things very light. Then the next step will be instrumentation control. Instrumentation and control, how we can make it user friendly for various applications. user-friendly for various applications. Then this technology will be, with all this integration, this technology may be ready. Then we need to take it to the market. We need mass manufacturing capacity, human resource development, all these are required. So from the fundamental concept to reaching the commercialization, there are a lot of steps involved, lot of steps. Innovation, incubation, technology transfer, mass manufacturing, awareness creation, and what is that? Human resource development. Lot of steps required from a science to technology reaching to the society. So this drone technology has come to this level. Lot of efforts required. Initial this aerospace department, lot of scientists had contributed. Now Dr. Senthilkumar is taking that to the commercial stage for various applications. Any innovation, you can see any innovation throughout this historical development. If you see, most of the innovation and invention during the crisis time. Innovation will evolve during the crisis. During the Second World War, lot of invention came. This submarine and all. How this development came during the crisis, the necessity will drive us to create innovations. Necessity only will be the mother of invention. During the crisis time, lot of innovation will come. I am sure lot of innovations in this world right now available for commercial applications. Initially it would have come from military side. Because the crisis is for the life crisis. They are all the dedicated people who are safeguarding this society by giving their life. Life crisis, when it comes, lot of innovation comes. Lot of capabilities of the human being will emerge. You can see any students, many of your students, during the first day of the semester, it's very difficult to turn one page in this textbook. But 1 day before, 1 hour before the exam, 100 pages they can turn, right? When there is a crisis, so like this, in the last 2 years, there was a crisis, natural crisis. This corona pandemic leads to lot of innovations. Lot of innovation has created during this pandemic period. I have seen his applications wherever drones are being deployed. Initially he deployed for the police department, safeguarding people whenever this natural calamity came. Then he extended this for the agricultural applications. Now during this crisis time, this application of this drone has lot of applications, enormous applications. People started finding through these drones. 16 countries in this world deployed these drones during this pandemic time for spraying infectant in various places. And now these logistic companies, they started utilizing how to deliver food to the remote people through these drones. So lot of, during this pandemic time, the companies who made lot of money is through logistics. So drones is one of the important application where food delivery and other kind of transport, small transport, it's possible. Lot of applications are going to come through drones. I heard our civil aviation minister has announced during 2030, this India will become hub for drones in the whole world. So I am sure that will happen, for which our Tamilnadu will contribute a major share for this towards a civil aviation minister's dream. India to become a drone hub in the whole world. So this program, particularly, what for this program? It's a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It's our Government of India's initiative to demonstrate major technologies to everywhere throughout the country. As a part of this program is need of the hour. Now it's this drone technology. has lot of potential and need of the hour to demonstrate this to whole country. So as a part of this inaugural function of, it's not only this function, today's function, it has a series of events planned for some few months. It is 6 places he is going to demonstrate this technology throughout Tamilnadu. Part of this program, it is planned to demonstrate the drones technology to create awareness, to create entrepreneurs, and how to use this technology for various applications, particularly for the farmers. Through this program, he is going to explain this technology, how it is very useful for the farmers. One drone, one village, that concepts to be attained as per our Government of India's mission. So as a part of this program, Dr. Sendil is going to demonstrate this in 6 villages and also to identify few farmers, and it is planned to give this drone pilot training to some 18 members, some few members which cost some 18 lakhs, which will be done free of cost. Definitely it is part of motivation for the people to take pilot training program in our organization. Shortly, our Anna University has planned a few programs. So only first thing, this is like awareness creation and drone pilot training organization. As Dr. Sendil pointed out, we got the blessings of our Amber Dubey and Mr. Rajashekar. We got this certification giving authority we received from this DGCA organization. Through this, some training center will be made in our university, so pilot training. And with the association with the TITCO, the testing facility will be created shortly, testing facility, and our government of Tamil Nadu also has planned for a large corporation level, drone corporation. It will be launched soon by our CM. So several activities will be initiated shortly, and definitely for the whole world, India should become the hub. For India, Tamil Nadu should become the hub for this hub. And I am very happy that there are some 18 startups have put up their stall, and already I think there are some 150 startups already available in our country. They all have lot of opportunities. Definitely, it's a very good field where we can get lot of revenue for our country. I heard that one of the major portion, it is airframe. That cost 40% of the drone cost, which is easily can be manufactured by the automobile companies. So automobile companies also can play a role in the manufacturing of this airframe, which is 40% of the total cost. So there are a lot of avenues. I congratulate once again the team and all the best to the team members who played major role for this development, and also I convey my best wishes to all the startup companies to succeed in their ventures. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspirational talk. Sir, as students of Anna University, we all will take up the spark you ignited and make huge contribution to the society. Now, let me invite our guest of honor, India's moon man, Dr. Mainswamy Annadurai, Vice Chairman of Tamilnadu State Council for Science and Technology, former Director of ISRO Satellite Center, Bangalore, the man behind the mission Mangal, to share his views about today's program.
எல்லாருக்கும் என்னுடைய காலை வணக்கங்கள். Today's morning sessions chief guest Dr. Amber Dubey and the valedictory function chief guest Dr. Sandeep Mittal IPS Vice Chancellor Dr. Vellore. Welcome address was given by very elaborately has given. I think he was asking me to go that seat. Then now I understood why he asked me to that seat, to sit on that seat. Okay, and very meticulously whatever has happened in this campus, the big history. I think he brought out in a very lucid way, and it's really remarkable at this particular stage. I know even how the adaptability and how the maneuverability of the roads, even this function. Yesterday, until you were discussing with Dr. Sandeep, and he was planning it outside, and due to the rain, I think this has to be shifted here. But you don't feel that it's shifted here. It looks as if it is the whole function has been done in this way. So the various maneuverabilities, whatever they have seen, it's more like what the drones are expected to do in the air. Yes, last couple of years, I am also with this team to looking what they have done last 15-20 years and what could have been done further. I think that is when in the part of the executive committee, I was telling to them, I think they can go still further and further. The wings can be open, and that can create a very good ecosystem in Tamilnadu particular and the whole of India in general. I think almost it's happened now. Possibly some of the opportunities, what happened during the COVID, that also effectively utilized by this team. I know some of you will be aware, in the Chennai city and across the world what's happening versus what's happened in Chennai city during the COVID also, the drones, the good number of drones, I think 25 numbers of the drones were assembled during the peak of COVID, and they were used for the pest spray is concerned. And it has happened across Tamilnadu also, various places like Tiruvallur, it has happened. It is basically now they showed how it can be, how it is being used, possibly will be used in the future in our armed forces. And I know in some forums when we are discussing, this particular wing probably will happen in all the three wings of space, defense is concerned. Be it Air Force, be it Naval, be it Army, all the three possibly will have this some sort of wing for them. That possibility very well exists there. So you know that sometime back F-16 with Abhinandan has gone, and we had a lot of fancy things were there now. Just to think of that scenario versus some 100 drones of whatever Sandeep Kumar has shown here. It's flying over the border, and enemy was thinking which one to shoot. Okay, let him shoot 10, let him shoot 25, let him shoot even 30, let him shoot even 50. Remaining 50 of them could have done a damage much worse than what F-16 would have done there. Okay, that is the power of this particular SWAM. I think probably you should understand what is the power of that SWAM, and that is the one, that competition after the 5 long years of journey, this team has won from Anna University. I think that needs a very great clap from across the people. Because this is not yes on today, this technology is only in the hands of very few countries. Just think about it. It is in the hands of very few countries. We cannot afford to have this to be imported from outside because of very detailed technology. Okay, and this technology is concerned, I think if you own that, meaning is 100 drones will be minuscule budget of what is one F-16 cost. Just think about that. Okay, and what the day, in case of a thing F-16 is lost, that money we are lost. 100 drones are going, even if theoretical possibility of 50 lost also, not much is happened, but damage also we are able to do that. So that way, I think this has a very lethal power this can give at the borders. Come back all the way to our farm field. Today's is concerned, I think you know, even Tamil Nadu, like many of the states, a backbone is the farmers, and agriculture is definitely needed so that we are get fed. We may go to the moon or we may go to the Mars, but unless otherwise our stomach is fed, we cannot do anything. To feed the stomach, people have to work in the field. To work the people, definitely we have to have that sort of environment. You know that after the pandemic, the migrant laborers are not part of it. You know, even Tamilnadu also, the farmlands are being served by a good number of migrant laborers. And this new norm of the post-pandemic, that's getting disturbed. Across the place also happening there. That means the people who are there in the village itself have to work. Older people are becoming older and old. The younger people, they are not ready to get into the field. Okay? They want to have the white collar job. Think about these drones. These drones can give you a possible white collar job even for the farmland. Okay? Now that is the thing. Meaning is basically it is not for the helping alone for our people in the borders. It will help the people back in the villages. I think that is the norm. I think that's how what we talked about is, I think we are talking about this particular way of one drone, one village. Minimum one drone, one village. It is not just stopping with the one drone, one village, because that means, you know that the tractors are given the villages and that they need not go for plowing point of view in the mud and the tractor can do the job. But still, pest spray is concerned, it is somewhat health hazard, and as well as overspray, there are two things possible. There is overspraying of pest also possible, and he will get the person who does that, and he will have his own health hazardness is there. Because of that, he is not able to effectively, things are not happening. And today, even that manpower is not available to you. What is the way of? And this is the way of basically the drones. If it's available there, and that people are trained, that young people. Okay, the pilot now is not beyond a farmer. He is going to be a pilot in that village, and definitely he will have a better position than any other youngsters, the pilot. So there is a possibility of a competitive pilot coming there, and the farmland also will be taken care by the drones. That means போர் முனையிலிருந்து ஏர் முனை வரைக்கும் நம்முடைய ட்ரோன்கள் வேலை செய்வதற்கான வாய்ப்புகள் நிறைய இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதா அந்த முக்கியம். That is the thing. This is just I told about 2 points. You can connect many things. As Professor Vellore told, it has a plenty of opportunities. Now, that opportunities, whatever they shown with Dr. Shantilkumar and team, will not be, that alone is not be enough. Because it is a handful of their teams, their imagination. Okay, only their imagination only made the applications in terms of pest spray, trying to help the police department and trying to go for the farmers' point of view, and very many things. For example, some surveying point of view, even in the many things happening there. But now many more things are possible. That means the new minds come, new way of lateral thinking comes. The same drones, like you take a TVS 50. TVS 50 is basically to take the people to one place to another. You know, various ways people are making use. You go to the village, you come to know how the two-wheeler being used very effectively, very innovatively. It's a really mind-boggling. Even the people who designed, who done that, not have even imagined that. Various ways they are trying to use. That everything came because it's made available to the many people, and they are able to operate that, and they extend this, what is their need and what is the system, they have to connect it. I think this whole program is all about that. That means one side we have the drones available, various range of drones, from 250 gram to all the way. I think the aerospace department of IIT is showing a prototype which has the payload capability of nearly 200 kg. That means the drone taxi is also not very far. It is not elsewhere we are seeing it is available right away here. So once the drone taxis are available, that also can be done many ways. So now you make this to aware to many people. So possibility of these drones being used for various applications for their own way, I think it will flare out very effectively to happen there. And as I foresee, it may not stop with this forum. Okay, you know that our Vikram lander on the moon, and the days are not very far. Just we missed it there, but anyhow Chandrayaan 3 will make it up. Days are not far. We are going to the Mars, and that thing is concerned. And already I know that Shantilkumar and team are trying to work. What are the possibilities of our drones? Okay, MIT drones going for the Mars for our thing point of view. That means beyond our land here, I think it can go there. They are also possible. What all I am trying to tell is, it gives various innumerable possibilities, especially for the students of technology-driven students, and this gives an ample opportunity of what we can do. And this is one side of how drones can be used. And you have seen all the good number of stalls. Okay, This number of stalls showing is what? It is only symbolically trying to show we have the startups. That startups are bringing an ecosystem, starting from even the propeller, propeller, all the way to our engine. I think everything has been done now. That means within us, it is not that we have to import something else. It's possible to do everything here, and that can fly. And another thing is, all the way previously we talked about, the life of the battery is the one which limits the life of the endurance of the drones. I think already this team has come out with the hybrid system, wherein the petrol-powered system it goes up, it takes for the nearly 2 to 3 hours of endurance they are able to show. So all the things putting together, I think we have an ecosystem coming out there, and we have this sort of things where we are able to do a formal training to even to the farmer, and taking the things to the festivals mode, making the people to be aware of that things happening there. And government also, for example, today TITCO is very strongly represented here because they are ready to take, because the TITCO is a tip of the iceberg. I could see the last few weeks of my association with them. Both Dr. Krishnamurthy and Ilangovan and Thomas and Dr. Tom, many are there. They all think the very big strong team is available there. Taking such technologies in a very, very better way, so that to make sure that they told India is going to be the hub for the drones. Take it from me, Tamilnadu is going to be the hub for the whole of India, and that means definitely we will be able to showcase the whole of the world where what we can do. Because it's happening in automobile. Already you have seen good number of automobile things happening in Chennai and around. Similar thing I think it happened in the drone domain also. While doing all these things, I think we should not lose opportunities of showcasing what we are. I think very recently, I think just 2 days back, I came from Dubai Expo 2020, supposed to have been the previous year, they postponed the year. Every 5 years, the expo is happening in some part of the world or other. To every country is trying to showcase what their heritage, all the way to what is their futuristic thinking. I think this is showcasing the thing, and more than 191 countries are participating. It is more than how many number of countries are there in UN Assembly. That many people are there, and they are trying to showcase what they are capable of. And definitely I have seen Indian Pavilion is attracting very, very good number of the people. And I feel the one good thing missing is this drone is not shown up very effectively in the Dubai Expo. It is going to be there up to the month of March. It is 6-month long thing, and it's a good place also Dubai to see. And there probably we have to showcase what India is capable of. India's might is capable of in terms of all the way from agriculture, the golden, our heritage. Then we are talking about the space. I think when we are doing all these things, definitely drone, which is upcoming, which will be promising technology, and will enable the youngsters to enter into the various fields, be it healthcare, be it education, be it agriculture. You name the field. I think youngsters to come in a good number, youngsters to come with a very, very enthusiasm. I think it's possible. Beyond all these things, engineering curriculum point of view also. I think Professor Vellore is there. The possibility you can think about how effectively this we not be called as aerospace. Already rightly told, starting from instrumentation, control, and very many things point of view, this particular system is having. So this can be some sort of a case study for the engineering curriculum is concerned. So that way, it's a possibility. We will tell it is not a rocket science. I think they will tell like that. This is coming very close to that. I know that this comes very close to that when coming to the its controllability. It's very many things are concerned. It is coming to that. So if it's going to the curriculum also, the engineers who are coming over there, like automobile engineer and aerospace engineer. But here it is embodiment of everything, starting from material, electronics, the firmware, and the sensors. You name it. I think many things are in a place the way you kept it there, and that also can be brought there. That means all the way from education via agriculture to our defense. I think very many things is possible for this, and beyond that, definitely only as I told here, this sort of technology only very few nations are having in handful. And when we go place like Expo and showcase, there is a huge possibility of we are be able to export this to in various other countries. I think people are looking for that, especially how this can be effectively used for the farmland and other place point of view, if you see the monitoring point of view. So all that put in together, I think my best wishes for the team and the startups who have come over here to making this show in a big way and take it forward further up and up and up. And I expect media also take it to in a very, very positive way, so that very many positive things are happening. This is what Government of India, Government of Tamilnadu is trying to showcase. So how many positive things are happening there, and we are able to calculate that. Doesn't mean it's only that the COVID-like pandemic alone has to go spread. I think this sort of positive aspects also needs to be like another pandemic. It has to go in a better way. In whatever the field it is there, whatever the field an individual is there, he must be able to take very many positive things are happening in my country, in my place, and it has a lot of possibilities. My son and my grandson can be a part of possibly a good the nation to live, good world to live. I think that sort of sentiments also we have to take it forward. With that, I think once again my congratulations, heart wishes to all of you for this to take over. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity.
Wonderful, sir. Shri Madurai Dr. Nadu for his inspirational speech. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Our Velanmayum, Yelling Velanmayum, Nare Pesnare. So drones has to reach the masses. As told by our beloved Vice Chancellor, we are planning this program about a year. That is 6 districts. 6 districts already selected. 6 places we want to conduct this program in outdoor, not in indoor, as decided by our Honorable Chief Guest Shri Dubey. We have to conduct in outdoors. Due to rain, we are conducting indoors, sir. Forgive me, sir. And next time we could see the drones are flying over the people, over the farmers. The farmers will fly the drones. So it will be the exemplary example how the technology will be taken to the rural part of India. So almost we are covering about 60 states and reaching about 5,000 farmers, and we are going to select 30 farmers or entrepreneurs to give a free of training, which is worth about 18 lakhs. Once again we are announcing on behalf of Anna University, we are reaching to the rural villages of Tamilnadu with the support from our sponsors.
We thank Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai sir immensely for your thought-provoking talk. All of us have always been fascinated by your enormous works, achievements and contributions, sir. We are indeed privileged to have you here today amongst us, sir. Next, on behalf of the CASR, I cordially welcome our chief guest who has been serving our country as a Joint Secretary in Ministry of Civil Aviation for the past 2.2 years and also extended his service as a Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi National Aviation University at Uttar Pradesh. Sir, it's a great privilege for our institution to have your prestigious presence in today's event. I hereby request our India's Dronacharya, Shri Dubey, to enlighten us with his words of wisdom.
Dignitaries on the dais. By the way, I'm the only non-doctor here. They're all doctors, highly educated people. I'm this person, so I'm not a doctor. Thank you so much. And dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries off the dais, young children, very, very warm welcome from Delhi. Okay, I'll keep my speech short because I see nobody likes long speeches. And I think there's also an open house after this. We have an open house where I want all those young children who are here. You are the focus. Okay, we have come all the way from Delhi, and knowing that there's rain, we said that once Dr. Senthil says we have to come, we have to come. We can't say no. We have to say seri, no ille. So we are here, and just imagine big congratulations to Anna University and Dr. Senthil and his team. This was supposed to happen at the Anna University grounds. And it was shifted at the last minute here because yesterday when I came from Cochin, we had a similar program in Cochin yesterday. And when we came back, it was raining cats and dogs yesterday. And but very quickly they shifted to this place. So this again shows how quick response Anna University, how dexterous and how, proactive you are. So big round of applause for Anna University. See, this is pious land. These universities, they are not just another brick and mortar setup, or this is not just a hangar. This is pious land, like a temple. It's like a temple of modern India. This is where young minds are ignited, like Professor Kalam and Dr. Tyagarajan mentioned about all the big people who have sat. We are just very small grains of sand who have this opportunity to sit here and serve this great nation. But very big people have come out of this university. This is that pond which has created so many lotuses who have given so much respect, brought so much respect to the country and to Tamil Nadu in particular. And Kalam Sahab yahi se the, and then you have Professor Sivan. You will be very surprised to hear Dr. Sivan till class 12. He did not wear a footwear. Now we wear these chappals, right? Chappals and shoes in the village. And there were, I think he was 4 brothers and sisters. And Dr. Mailaswamy, please correct me if I'm wrong, he's your colleague. So I'm told he had 4 brothers and sisters, and his father could afford only one person to go to college. Imagine. And that's how Dr. Sivan was picked up, and then he studied, worked hard till class 12th. He used to help his father in the fields, and then go as usual 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers to school without a footwear till class 12th. Today he's making us proud as the head of ISRO, right? So that just shows that the only thing matters is honesty, hard work, humbleness, and happiness. 4 H's we call it: hard work, humbleness, honesty, and happiness. You should be happy with what you do. Otherwise, don't do it. Right? Like Talaivar, he was a bus conductor. Okay, and he became this great Talaivar, right? Call him Talaivar, right? Purachi Talaivar, Rajinikanth. So he's a bus conductor, but he still had that style, the cigarette thing and the matchstick and shooting 5 bullets in one go. So he had that style, and his friends saw that and told him, go into movies. Right? And he did that. So whichever work you pick up, and I'm talking more to the youngsters, because our whole agenda today is about all the youngsters. You are the future. Many of us will just retire in a few years and we'll go, and we'll bless you from a distance and read about you in the newspapers. Like today we talk about Dr. Sivan and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. There's so many people whom Tamil Nadu, this great land of Tamil Nadu, has produced. You're the pride of the country. And about this drone hub thing, I don't have a prepared speech, so I'm just speaking from my mind, and I'm just reacting to some of the things, great things said here. The Honorable Chairman, Dr. Vellore, also mentioned that you look at the human body. What is this drone? The flying part, a lot of the aerodynamics comes from the observing, the drone. What is a drone? Drone is nothing but that, I don't know what you call in Tamil, the hora or the vast. That's the literal meaning of drones, like the honeybee. Black honeybee, it's not the honeybee. What do you call it in Tamil? The drone, the wasp. Huh? Butter. Okay, so all these learnings, as the Honorable Vice Chancellor said, comes from observing nature. The answer is in the nature itself. Then Professor Santil also spoke about Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. This is something a slogan which was given by a second Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri. And our current Prime Minister now says any technology that doesn't touch the Jawan or doesn't touch the Kisan, it's of no use. And if you touch the Jawan, because these are our young brothers and sisters who are out there on the borders doing violence on our behalf, so that we can sit here and talk big things and about innovation, this and that. But there are those people in the cold of Kashmir or the northeast, in a very barren environment, no human beings for kilometers, cut off from family. The young sons and daughters are born, they never see them, except for just once in a year. Okay, those are the people who are keeping us safe, right? So if our technology cannot create drones which take those very important medical supplies or ammunition or food, okay, to those brothers sitting on the top of the hill, it's of no use. Okay, so we have to develop this technology. And if you have to develop those technologies, once you make it work in Leh Ladakh, it can happen anywhere. That technology can work. We talk about pizzas, and actually, to be honest, pizza delivery is not our focus. It's an urban phenomenon. So many people are there, so many young Indians who can earn a good living by just delivering pizzas. That's not our focus. our focus always remains on Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Okay, because they are the core of a country. If the Jawan is not helped, if the country fails, if our security is endangered, any innovation will be wasted. And farmers, they are almost 60-70% of our population. They'll put food, supper, you call it supper, right? Supper, tail sadam. That tail sadam comes from the farmer. And we'll eat that at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. today. That food on our table, the tail sadam comes from the farmer. So if you don't help him, and in fact I felt very emotional when Professor Senthil came to our ministry. We often invite him and we do a lot of talking with him and understand lots of concepts which he's trying to do, not just in Tamilnadu but the whole of country or even export. And I felt very emotional when he told me that local farmers, because of the problem of the pesticide, they put curd on their body, right? Because it burns the skin. Okay, and he's spraying. You put that backpack like a school bag. And hey, young kids, if you're not interested, you should leave. Hey, lady in the yellow. Lady in the yellow. Lady in the yellow, don't talk. Some of my Tamil friends taught me some very bad Tamil. Why am so just listen here, because otherwise, see, anybody who's not interested, you should leave. There's some very, very senior people, all doctors and one non-doctor sitting on stage. They've taken time out of the busy schedule. Okay, none of them have 5 minutes to spare. People have flown in from other locations. So just listen to this conversation, because we've come all the way to share our thoughts and tell you what the government is thinking, what the Prime Minister is thinking, what our ministry, what DGCA, what we're thinking. So just hear us out, and anybody who's not interested thinks it's a waste of time. I don't think Professor Senthil told you to come here, otherwise I'll mark your attendance or take 5 marks out from your physics paper. So please leave, okay? But those who are here, please just... and we also want to just cut the speech short so that we can do more of question answer. A lot of things are not known because we release some policy, we release some laws, we release some regulations, but a lot of that is very technical, techno-legal jargon, which sometimes you don't understand, right? You think it's some very technical mambo jumbo. So we want to, and you can ask in Tamil also, and Professor Senthil, myself, Mr. Rashekar is here, though he's left DGCA, but he's very much part of us. We'll answer your questions. Not all questions can be answered here, but those we can't answer, we'll answer in the next 72 hours. We'll figure out a way, and I'll send a message to Professor Senthil and he can then share with you. So I would rather focus more on the question answer session. And ask silly questions. Yesterday also we were in a Kochi, away from the Kochi city in the middle of a village, and there we were having a similar program, very well attended, a lot of young people. In fact, the local church had also sent some children who were specially abled children. Okay, they could talk only through sign language, and they were so happy coming to that place. And I'll show you some videos. I'm sure they'll put it up on the internet. And they were so excited when we told them that even if you have some speech or hearing disability, no problem. You can still be a drone pilot. Okay, so absolutely nothing. So we'll work with DGCA and we'll figure out a way, because there are many applications. If you're doing spraying, you don't need to hear, right? All you need is your very dexterous fingers, finger work. It's all hand-eye coordination. So if you have good hand-eye coordination, and some of the kids are being trained, and they're big experts in drones, and their speech and hearing impaired, and we put them on stage. In fact, we called them, we said 2 kids come in, and they sat on the stage with us, and looking at them, other kids got motivated, right? So coming back to farmers, Senthil told us they put on that backpack, and then they pump in their hands and they spray. Literally, this is at point blank range, right? And that wind drift creates that pesticide. Pesticide is poison. That poison comes into your nose, you have nose problems, lung problem, eye problem, skin problem, and they put curd on their skin. I mean, why? This is maybe 10th century technology. And today our Honorable Prime Minister says, we should eradicate. Using drone technology, we should eradicate this manual spraying in 5 years. In fact, he says do it in 3 years. Bring costs down, innovate. Go to youngsters, go on the outreach, and that's why we are here. Why? Because otherwise, every time we come up with a new law, we will do it in some 5-star hotel, somebody will sponsor, some big federation, CII, FICCI, they're doing a fantastic job. And we would organize this big event, big people will come, big people will sit in the audience, but that's a very restricted audience. They all know each other anyways. That's why the Honorable Prime Minister said, stop these Delhi events, go to each of the 28 states and spread the word. And that's why we were in Cochin yesterday. We've already covered some 10 or 12 states now. Cochin was yesterday. It was Kerala Day also yesterday, 1st November. Today we are in Chennai, a great place called Anna University. Then tomorrow, and then next week we are also going to Guwahati. Then we have a Prime Minister's big event on 13th November where he is coming to inaugurate a drone festival. Like a Tiruvallur. Why did you remove Tiruvallur? Tiruvallur is such a nice name. I told him put some Tamil name. So drone Tiruvallur. Tiruvallur, right? You say Vira, like Alapura. Kanyakumari. For this, and similarly then we'll go to Guwahati and then Himachal and so many other states. So our focus is more on the hill states, northeast, island cities and farmers and young students. Okay? And let me also warn you now, just because I'm in Tamilnadu, I'm not saying good things about Tamilnadu. So while you are a drone hub, great work being done here at Enlighten University and various other places. This Professor Satya Chakravarti, you'll hear him in the afternoon. And there's Pranjal Mehta also standing. There are lots of stalls set up by some very, very sharp young minds. Okay, but please be warned, Telangana not sitting idle. They are not sitting and eating Uday Sadam. Okay, they are also working very hard. And there's Bangalore, big drone hub in Bangalore. Okay, in IIT Kanpur also, we were there in Kanpur also where we met farmers and both engineers, farmers, students. Everywhere, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. There also we had local police and the head of the anti-terrorist cell and all that. So they were there and they are using drones in a big way. So at lots of the Guwahati, Professor Parmeshwar Iyer from Chennai, he is in Guwahati doing great work, Dr. Iyer. So everywhere there are people working hard and they're trying to become the drone hub. And you want dozens of drone hubs in India, okay? But you have very stiff competition from Telangana, Bangalore, Kanpur, Guwahati, everywhere. So please work very hard. The more the drone hubs, the better we become. The whole, this great motherland of ours, India, Bharat also becomes great. Okay, so work very hard, be happy. We have great people on the dais, great people sitting right in front here. Talk to each other, try to understand and do whatever you can, because under the new rules which were released on 25th of August, before that we had rules. See, I'll not blame anyone, because see, it's very easy to say, rules are very easy. DGCA did this, MHA did this, Ministry of Civil Aviation did that. See, all rule making happens in a context. So if you see a couple of years back or last year, there were so many violent errors, the Saudi Aramco strike, Iran, Afghanistan incidents, and Heathrow was shut down, Madrid airport was shut down. You shut down Chennai airport for 10 minutes, see the bags piling up, passengers piling up, flights can't land, those on the land can't take off. Something goes wrong for 10 minutes. Now imagine if Chennai airport is shut down for one day, 24 hours, 28 hours, 32 hours. There will be chaos. Crores will be lost. Why? Because a tiny 10,000 rupee drone flew somewhere close to the airport and some pilot saw it or some CISF Jawans saw it and the whole airport is shut down. That's the power. Dr. Maila Swami also spoke about the asymmetric nature of this warfare. Drones will protect India. The next war, I hope it never happens, but we should be ready like the Israelis. Every day we should be ready for war. Because if war happens, the next war, I'm sure we have great weapons and all the weaponry, most of it is imported. But the next war will be won by youngsters here. They will be won by the power of the drone. And if you don't believe me, just go to YouTube and type Azerbaijan. Armenia, a 200-300 year history was changed in 3 days. 3 days. There's a place called Nagorno-Karabakh. Many of you would know about it. And that has shaken people up. It's woken people up. And good for us, because the experiment happened in Nagorno-Karabakh. We helped. And suddenly the government woke up and realized, oh, I think we are doing something wrong. So just because somebody can misuse, it's like a knife. Knife is used for cutting bangan. Onion is bangan, right? A knife can be used to cut bangan, also cut throats, okay? But you don't put a license and a permit and a Aadhaar card and a passport for when your mother goes or father goes to buy a knife. So it's a technology. A knife also has a technology, right? It can be used for good thing, peaceful use, violent use. Peaceful use, violent use. But just because a knife can be used for violent use doesn't mean that you put too many restrictions. So this is the new thinking of the top leadership. This is coming right from the Honorable Prime Minister. He said, open it up. When Jammu happened in the old rules, not in the current rules. Because the lawbreaker, the criminal, who's going to use the drone for transporting drugs, counterfeit money, and every day from Jammu and Rajasthan border we see coming in. Okay? From the other side. When the crime, when the criminal by his very nature, he's a lawbreaker. So he's going to break the law. Why make the law tough? Because any law you make, he's not going to follow. The laws are used by people sitting here. The nice people, the innovators, the thinkers, the professors, right? So then when they criticize the rules, then see, this government had the humbleness to say, yes, we made a mistake. Yes, we made a genuine mistake. It was done looking at the incidents of the recent past, and that's why we put so many restrictions. But then we realized it's hurting India. So any laws are made to help society. If it's not helping the society, amend it. Now see, here it did not get amended. And I'll close it, this is my last point. See, this government is not known for changing laws, right? 370, CAA, whatever law you bring in, you can do n number of protests and lots of lathi charge and whatever you can do. Laws are not changed because they take a long time to ideate, to build opinion, and then drafting and then approval by the parliament. So it's a very long process to enable, to draft and enact a law. Once it's done, it is not changed. Only in drones, it should be, and mark my words, you should be very proud of this, only in drones, the government had the humbleness to say, yes, we made a mistake. And we will not amend it, will not change a comma and a full stop or here and there. We'll repeal that. So that rule was repealed. It came in only March this year. In 5 months, it was repealed. And the new rule has been released on 25th of August, just 2-3 months back. And immediately after that, in 3 weeks, which is a record time, we came up with a PLI scheme, a production linked incentive scheme. So the more drones you produce and sell, based on the value addition you do, you get 20% cash back from the government. 20% is the highest amongst all categories. There's auto, pharma, there's textile, there's electronic, there's so many other PLI schemes of the central government. Nowhere you get 20%. We are giving 20%. And in other sectors, it comes down. So it's 5%, 4%, 3%. It reduces with time. Only in drones, the cabinet approved this deviation and they said 20% all 3 years because we are such a small base that we need more support. So 20% all 3 years. And after 3 years, we may come with a different scheme, maybe even a better scheme. The amount given is 120 crores. Now, 120 crores, you may say, oh, big deal. I mean, what's so great about 120 crores? But if you realize everything is linked to the production base. Today, the production base of India in last year, 2021, was only 60 crores. All drone manufacturing, because bulk of it is imported. So whatever young Indians were manufacturing, okay, it was all total 60 crores. The government is giving 200%. 120 crores is 200% of the 60 crores. They are saying, you made 60 crores, we'll give you 120 crores. Can we just have a small clap, please? Come on, Chennai, this is not the clap, come on! Good supper, nalla supper. Your time it is supper. Okay, so I think policies have to translate into evidence. Now it has to be mathematical evidence. So these are mathematical evidences that 60 crores is the base, 120 crores government will give you over 3 years and will increase as time passes. Okay, so also last point was another deviation was in every PLI scheme, the value addition norm is 50%. That you have to do minimum 50% value addition in India to get qualified. Here we requested 40% knowing it will be struck down. In drones only in drones, value addition norm is fixed at instead of 50%, only 40%. So you sell a drone at 100 rupees and if your cost of purchases of drone components is 60 rupees, even then you are qualified. So 100 minus 60, 40 rupees. You will still be qualified and you will get 20% of that 40%, so 8 rupees. For every 100 rupees, you will get 8 rupees back. Even if you do minimum value addition of 40%. In no other sector, 40% is there. Another big deviation is that even if you lose the incentive for this year, just hear me carefully, there is another very big deviation. If you don't do the value addition of 50% in a year, you lose the incentive for that year. It's a very simple, straightforward law. Only in drones, this is the 5th deviation we requested and all 5 were accepted. We said, sir, sometimes maybe we don't have an ecosystem in India for components. The battery cost may go up, BMP as we call it, battery, motor, propeller, flight controller. Maybe the cost may go up, okay? And we may not have been able to achieve 40% value addition. In our case, we have been allowed that you can claim back incentive. Back incentive in the next year if you make up for that gap in the next year. So suppose you did 38% value addition, so you will not qualify this year. But that 2% loss that you have, 2% below the threshold, if you cover this up in the next year, hopefully next year will be even bigger, next year you will cover it up, you will get the incentive for the previous year. Nowhere in India do you get incentive for previous year in retrospective effect. Okay, so these are 5 very major deviations all allowed by the when we wrote, we thought, ask for 5, you will get 2 or 3 deviations. When my secretary sir came back, he said all 5 accepted. I couldn't believe, I thought he was joking. All 5 deviations approved, only for drones. And this was done in 3 weeks. 25th August it came, the drone rules. 15th of September came the PLI scheme. On 24th of September, yet another big thing happened, which sometimes we don't realize. We released the drone airspace map. Now, why is this map very clear? I was just talking to Dr. Sandeep. Farmers of Rajasthan, anyway, many of them are not very rich, poor farmers. In the border areas where we had to spray, there was no human being around. Okay, everything was shut, no food, nothing. And where do you charge the battery? So then you charge using your vehicle. Now, vehicle or battery also has a life. You can't just use it for. And the locust had to be killed by 8 a.m. 8 a.m. The kill time was 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. maximum 9 a.m. because at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. their wings dry off. In the night they're wet, so they're heavy. Their wings dry off, and once the locust flies, you can't touch it because the locust flies 125 kilometers per day in that heat. We can't walk 5 kilometers in Rajasthan in peak daytime. They fly, not walk. They fly 125 kilometers. And many of them reached Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, some even crossed Maharashtra, Gujarat and came to Karnataka. Can you believe it? So that was the risk. And then Professor Senthil and Daksha, hats off to Daksha, they created those engine-powered drones. We tried and gave them permission. People say permission will take a long time. I think it took all of 3 days, 72 hours to change the rules and give them a special exemption to use petrol-powered drones in Rajasthan for agriculture spraying. So while spraying was banned, carrying a payload was banned, and engine drones was definitely not allowed. But all 3 permissions were given by a minister late night. We sent the file to his home, 8 p.m. Next morning, 9:30, the file was back and approved, and we told him, please just rush. Sikram po. Please go and we'll save these farmers. And the farmers felt so thankful. They said people coming from Chennai, from Cochin, from Bhubaneswar, from Delhi, coming all the way to save our crops and save our livelihood when we are already feeling so down. Okay, so these are men of God. They used to say these are men of God. Many of them were given the traditional Rajasthani, the turban and all that. They used to feel so, and they didn't pay a penny. It was all paid by the central government and some by state government. So this is the power of the drone. I'm sorry I dragged it, but I thought I should mention. He never mentioned about what he did during the locust attack last year. Okay, so hats off to them. Thank you so much, Mikan and Ray. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and informative words. We youngsters will take up the motivation you have given us today and work ahead. Next, I invite our guest, Dr. Sandeep Mittal, IPS, Additional Director General of Police, Coastal Security Group of Tamilnadu, and an high-end technocrat who was involved in various missions and also conducted experiments in community policing to bridge the divide between police and public. I hereby request you to share your views with us, sir.
Honorable dignitaries on the dais, faculty members and my dear students. It is a proud privilege for me being invited to such an august gathering of highly accomplished scientists, technocrats and bureaucrats. I have a bad habit. Wherever I am posted last 25 years, I continue my association with the academics. And wherever I go, I try to learn things which are relevant to my own professional development. Learning is very important in life. Why I am telling these things? Because I can see a large number of students sitting here. So the young learners and the old learners like us, we are also learners. I studied in Delhi University, and although Delhi University had a computer center, the first computer in my department, that is Department of Geology, was received in 1987 when I took admission as a first year's undergraduate. And the computer used to be kept in a room with a AC, with a lock. And nobody was permitted to touch it. I wanted to learn computer. So I approached the professor and I requested him, sir, can you allow me to learn computer? Those days, some 5-inch floppies disks used to come. So professor frowned at me and told, what you are talking, you are an undergraduate, you don't know anything, you can't learn, you can't go, you can't enter the room. So I was totally disheartened. But as a learner, what I did, I started watching that professor for next 15 days. Surveillance. I realized that this professor has a problem. What is the problem? The sweeper allotted to sweep the room of the professor does not sweep the computer lab. Because he says that in the duty roster, only the room of the professor can be swept, not the computer lab, because it is a new lab. It is not in my list of roster. So daily in the morning they will argue for 15 minutes. So I was watching this. I approached the professor. I told him, sir, look, you have a problem, I have a problem. My problem is I want to learn computer. Your problem is that there is no one to sweep your room. We both can solve each other's problem. I will come exactly at 8 o'clock in the morning. I will sweep your room. You allow me 1 hour in that lieu to learn the computers. And my dear friends, the professor could not say no. I learned computers, 87. The first computer. I had the honor to start learning. So that is the power of learning. Why I am telling you is, you people are sitting, you are youngsters, you have a lot of dreams, you have to learn. So almost all the honorable speakers have dwelt in length. What are the benefits of drone technology? Definitely, it's a great benefit. We must read. It is the need of the hour. As a technologist, all of you are very happy when you are telling me that so much of technology is available, we can do this, we can deliver things, but as a police officer, more you speak about your achievements, more shivers I get, actually. Because as pointed out by honorable dignitaries and Mr. Dubey also, technology is a double-edged weapon. It can be used to cut vengayam, it can be used to cut crop. But there is something beyond that. So I feel that I am not a technologist, I am a layman, I am a policeman, I am a citizen also. So as a technologist and as a policy maker, what are the issues being faced or would be faced in future? All of us have to keep a sight of all those issues. So to my mind, I was just sitting when I was coming. As I told that I am not an expert, but at the very same time I am a citizen. And I am an active citizen, and I have Google Baba at my disposal, so I can learn so many things. I identify 6 issues which all the technologists and all the policy makers have to keep in mind. To me as a citizen and as a police officer, they are very important. Although they may be against the interest of a technologist and the industry. But mind you, no industry, no technology can survive if there is a mass protest against it. If there is a mass protest, take the example of nuclear energy. Very useful. All our power problems can be solved. But please remember the protests at Kudankulam. Wherever a nuclear facility is installed, there are mass protests. So, there have to be systems in place to ensure that the technology which is being introduced into the civilian society has some safeguards in place. People are the first issue. First issue, what is it? Dr. Senthil told that beyond visual line of sight technology. This is generally used for the delivery drones because in the high-rise buildings or sometimes in the areas where hills are there, natural disasters, the pilot, it is not in the visual line of sight. So there has to be a technology which takes the drone beyond the visual line of sight. This is good, but mind it, it is very dangerous. It is very dangerous technology, so there need to be solutions for this kind of technology. Whenever such drones having the beyond the visual line of sight technology are being used, the technology and its use must be properly encrypted. It should not be open. So technologists have to give a line of thought. They have to think how to properly regulate that technology. If it goes to the private persons, in the hands of the Amazon or the Swiggy or the Zomato, you know that even the boys who are delivering our food, sometimes in the videos on the WhatsApp and even the Twitter, we see that they are removing a portion of the pizza and delivering the balanced pizza. So the manpower who is using this technology can never be trusted because human beings are the greatest risk to the security. So security by design and security by default is the key word while using such technologies. Second issue, as Mr. Ambar Dubey just now pointed, when they went to the Rajasthan, they did not have any place to charge the drones. And our drones are using electric chargers, and they are using petrol, they may be using aviation fuel. There is a limitation to it. So we really need to think whether we can use some technology, innovative technology, either it is available or it can be innovated, like hydrogen cells. They have 4 times more power than the normal cells. Why not use hydrogen cells in the drone? Even the Honda City car has introduced a car which is run by hydrogen. So when the cars are using hydrogen technology, our drones should also be using, it will increase their flying time by 4 to 5 times. That is another issue. The most important issue, the third one, for me as a law enforcement officer, second. Law enforcement officer, second. And first as a citizen, the most important issue is the legal issues involved with the use of drones. Who will have the right of space? Even the law, those who are into the construction business or who are in the civil engineering, they know that when a contract is signed for giving the lease, sometimes the contractor, the seller will add a clause, the all land and parcel of the land and the building up to sky. What is this sky? These are old words. Sky means it is far above where our aeroplane used to fly. But these drones, they are flying at a height of 200 feet. 400 feet, Mr. Ambar Dubey told you. Government has given you a free hand to fly a drone at 400 feet in the green zone. Now where is my privacy? As a citizen, you are flying a drone over my house. You are keeping surveillance over me. Where I go to protect my privacy? There is no privacy as a citizen. Who will protect me? Supreme Court in the recent judgment of the Pegasus case told even a poor man sitting inside his house has a right to privacy. Even the king or the queen cannot violate that privacy. Then how you can authorize a person spending 5,000 rupees in procuring a micro drone and flying it without a license over my house? And finding out that today I am drying one undergarment, 2 pant and shirt and 3 pair of socks, and allowing that person to judge while the 3 pair of pant and shirt are there, undergarment is only 1, pair of socks is 3, and allowing him to infer anything about my privacy. Where is my safety? Where is my privacy? Who will protect me? The common law as well as the Indian law doesn't have enough judgments or law in place to protect my privacy. So you have to bring some regulation into your regulation, some amendments where my privacy as a citizen is guaranteed. Now, who is liable? Government says you can fly a drone over my house. Now who is liable? My son and daughter, they are playing at the rooftop. Your drone is taking a picture. This picture is hacked by a hacker. It is shared on the Twitter and the Facebook. My daughter or son is kidnapped. Who is liable? The pilot is liable or the government is liable? Who is liable? There is no law in India to fix it. Please have a law. Please have some rule to fix the liability. As a security man, as he told that Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan. Jai Kisan is fine. You use the drone, spray the pesticide, finish off the locusts. But as a Jai Jawan, my concern is how I counter these rogue drones. You see, all over the world there have been instances where big leaders, the lawful leaders and unlawful leaders, that means the terrorist heads, they have been assassinated using the drones. As a Chief of Security for Parliament of India, I conducted a lot of trials and experiments to find a technology which I can deploy in Parliament to tame these rogue drones. And I have no hesitation in saying I was not able to find any foolproof technology for taming such rogue drones. So, use of drones by the enemies, use of drones by the militants, by the criminals, anti-national elements, and by the security forces. While you are very, very active and enthusiastic in developing the drones, please develop the technology to tame these drones also. You will say, sir, so many technologies are available. But as a field man, I say no such technology is available at this present time. Today, at least as on date, there is no such foolproof technology available. You will say we will jam the frequency. We are not even able to create a jammer so far which jams 5G frequency. 4G frequency jammers are not even made today by the Indian technologists. I don't have a jammer in India which is made in India, made by Indian scientists, which can jam 4G frequency. Even if it is available, I am not aware. As a security man, I was the Chief of Security for Parliament. Please develop such technologies. Now the most important point for you, not me. I will come later into picture. What is that point? You see, drone is a hybrid technology where you use the technology of the aviation, that is aviation technology, where the standards and the protocol of security are very high. And the other component is the IT, the information technology. And probably the legacy systems also, that IoT, Internet, the technology of things, IoT, Internet of Things. All these technologies actually are too different from the cyber security point of view. While the cyber security in the aviation technology is very high standard, most of the IT companies have a tendency not to spend money on security because it needs money. They want to keep the product cost low. So the cyber security is poor in IT technology. So again I would urge to develop the technology and the protocols where the cyber security is taken care of. Otherwise, lot of our information can be hacked by not hackers, by small kids sitting at home. They can do it. Script kiddies, they can do it. So again I would mention the security by design and security by default is the key. And finally, because I am a man of forensics, I worked as a director of the National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science. And actually that is the time when I came to know about this institute. When I was attending the DGP's conference chaired by our Honorable Prime Minister at Hyderabad, the DGP Tamilnadu, then DGP Tamilnadu, Mr. T.K. Rajendran, and myself, we were in a group discussing such technologies, and then he told me about this center. And at that time I came to know, and later on when I joined in Tamilnadu Police back from Government of India, I invited Dr. Senthil, and we did some experiments in the coastal security and anti-drowning, some experiments we did, and he was very prompt enough to devise something for us which we are planning to use in our new Marina Lifeguard Unit wing. So we gave the inputs, we told what need to be done, how we can use the inbuilt technologies, indigenous, innovation, jugaad. So he made something on jugaad, which he was earlier there were high technologies. We have made something on jugaad. So the forensics for the drone is an important subject. Most of the drones, they are having cameras. Now Dr. Senthil is manufacturing a drone, he will have one particular camera. Then I may be from Gujarat, I may be having some other camera. Some Telangana guy may be having some other camera. The problem in that is when we go for the forensics of the chip, the multiplicity of the camera model, actually it is not compatible with the forensic analysis tool. And the results are very poor, either poor or not usable. So what Gujarat government has done actually, not for drones, for CCTV cameras in public places, they have issued a order, government order. They say any camera to be installed in a public place will have the following specifications. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. No camera, whether installed by a government or by a private person, in public place can be of any other specification other than mentioned by the government of Gujarat. Mr. Nagarajan will confirm to me whether I am correct or not. I have the geo with me, if you want I can give. So what does it give? It gives us a consistency in analyzing these cameras, the data. Otherwise, so many cameras, I cannot procure so many softwares. So that you have to work, some legal kind of thing you can specify. Micro drone will have this kind of specifications, small drone will have this kind of camera, and of course defense and all that are different. are the issues which came to my mind as a common man and as a law enforcement officer. And now in the later what I get from this conference now, I readily agreed to join it, but now I am realizing that I am very much benefited by joining this conference. Why? Because now I have come to know that Government of India is giving a 20% cash back to the university. No, you will not clap after my next sentence. You have given me a quotation. Now I will ask you 20% discount on that. Thank you very much for giving a patient hearing. That's all from my side. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Sir, thanks for your wonderful thoughts about a drone. We always, Tamilnadu police is our first customer to take the drones into the field. I am very proud to say Tamilnadu police is the only police introduced drone in the country. They have been utilized for the crime investigation and as well as maybe a lot of traffic, as well as every year in a southern part of Tamil Nadu, there is a famous puja, Guru Puja, Devar Guru Puja and Immanuel II Guru Puja. In 2010, they had a lot of firing accidents. I think 12 people have been killed. Then 2011. Then in 2012, I have been called by Tamil Nadu Police Chief Ramanujan sir, DGP of Tamil Nadu Police. Then from the year 2012 till the 30th of October, the Devar Guru Puja, our team was with the police, continued service about some 12 years. We don't have any issues and public also very much appreciating this device is very much useful. So whatever sir has said, the points are very well taken. The privacy and other issues will be discussed in the panel discussions. Thank you very much, sir.
It's now the time to start the proceedings of our outreach program. I request our chief guest, Shri Dubey and Dr. Sandeep Mittal, Guest of Honor, Dr. Madurai and Madurai, Vice Chancellor of Anna University, Dr. R. Prelraj, and other dignitaries on stage and off stage to inaugurate the outreach program by releasing the souvenir.
I'd like to invite Ilangovan Senior Manager Kitco also to join with us, and Dr. Rajeshekar as well as Professor Chakravarti, my coordinator of this program, and Nagarajan, Director of Gujarat Government, representing here. Please come on stage, sir. Krishnamurthy sir, please. Mr. Vasan and Rashid to join with the release of souvenirs. Please come fast. Thanks to my CASR to prepare this wonderful souvenir. It includes the applications of drones and particularly for a farming community how the drones are useful. Thanks to my sponsors, Daksha, Garuda, Arfly and other sponsorship, and particularly my major sponsor, Technology Enabling Center CTDT and TITCO. Please give your big hands. Yeah, with this occasion, I just want to run my small clip. A farmer who is operating the drone. Just you see the video, how the farmers are benefited using the drones. In fact, he is my farm worker. One day he came, sir, always, ningile drone otranga. Then we trained him for a week. Give a big applause to him, my farmer. This is the success of this outreach program. How nicely he is operating. They are the future of India. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, part of the development of India. That is a petrol operated drone. After 5 days of training, he is nicely operating the drone, navigating and complete autonomous system. All the security features are enabled, sir. We have a tracker system from Zupa, and we have a security system from Anadix, and complete manufacturing by Daksha and Systems. In Tamil Nadu, we have complete ecosystem of drones. This I want to say to Amber Dubey sir. So we always lead Telangana as well as other states. We are ready to take a challenge with the support of TIT. See how it is spraying. Using these drones, every day my farm is spraying about 25 acres per day. Do you believe this? As a techno-commercial, we are estimating about 1,200 crores per year is the revenue from agri sector, only for using a drones. That is in our mind. That's why we started a drone school and drone outreach program. Thanks to my Vice Chancellor to consider about this program and other dignitaries on the stage and off the stage. You could see how nicely he is operating the drones. Every village, almost we have reached about 15,000 villages in Tamil Nadu. The requirement about each drone, each village concept, we need about 15,000 drones and about 40,000 pilots per year only in Tamil Nadu. Just to see how much mass we need to reach. Give a big hands please. With this program, I just want to introduce Mr. Gunashekaran. Please come on stage. See, we promised we want to reach 30 farmers from the farming side, entrepreneur side. Mr. Gunashekaran Guna, farmer from the farming side, sir. Sir, he is a young entrepreneur identified by us. We went to Thanjavur district for some spraying. He is an ITI student, diesel mechanic. All the way he ran out of it and he has seen what is the drone. Then we told that, are you interested? Then he told, sir, I am very much interested. Then we selected in this program as the first person giving a free of training from RPTO, sir. He is from the remote village. You introduce yourself first.
என்னோட பேர் குணசேகரன். நான் கொல்லிமலை சேர்ந்த விவசாயத்து குடும்பத்தை சேர்ந்த பையன். நான் 10th முடிச்சுட்டு டேரக்டாக ஐடிக்கு போயிருக்கேன். ஐடியில் டீசல் மெக்கானிக் இன்ஜினியரிங் படிச்சிருக்கேன் நான். இப்போது தஞ்சாவூரில் டெமோவுக்கு வந்திருந்தாங்க. அவங்க இது சார் பார்த்தோன்னே எனக்கு இது ஸ்ப்ரே பண்ணுறது இது விதமாக எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தது. அதனால் இது சார்கிட்ட பேசியிருந்தேன். சார்கிட்ட பேசினோன்னே சரி அவர் ஓகே சொல்லிட்டு சரி ஒரு வாரம் ட்ரைனிங் கொடுத்தாங்க இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ட்டு. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நான் இங்கே ஜாயின் பண்ணி இப்போ ஒரு 2 மாதம் இருக்கும். ஃபுல் ட்ரைனிங் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அதான் நான் அப்ளை பண்ணுவேன்.
Amber Dubey sir and my Vice Chancellor give a token of appreciation. He is the first free pilot worth of 60,000 we are giving free of cost. As a token of appreciation and love, we would like to give mementos to all the members. Give your big hands to our Vice Chancellor and Sandeep Mittal due to the work they are leaving now. After this, we will continue the session with the industry feedback. So please now to invite Mr. Ilangovan as well as Nagarajan, please come to the stage. We need to get a feedback from industries. This is most important. You are invited session. And Professor Ashok Chakravarti, please 5 minutes. Please be students and entrepreneurs, please stay here. Now we have another sessions to give a feedback from industry that is most awaited and important. Now I'll call from the industry side. If you have any feedback or questions, you can chances are given. Industry side you can represent. Mr. Venkat, I'll call on one by one. Those who are wanted to give your view, you can come on stage.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Venkatesh Sai from Super Navigation Technologies. I started actually in the drone space, called the aero modeling space, way back when I was 15 years of age. That was in 2008. And at that time, we were flying aero modeling planes, with RCs, remote control airplanes. And I had a very great opportunity of meeting Dr. Senthil Kumar, and he actually inspired us, and we said, okay, let's impart the knowledge that we had gained. I had done aero modeling for close to 3 to 4 years before that. So we said, why not we start imparting this knowledge to various academic stakeholders as well as the students. So we said we'll do that, and we organized the first FlySpad event in 2009 in the same hangar, where we trained close to about 100 different students, engineering students, on various parts of a drone. The motor, the electronic control system, the receiver, how it works, and it was very inspiring. Dr. Senthil Kumar has always been a big inspiration for me, and personally after this, there have been many FlySpad events being conducted here, and I estimate that close to around 2,000 such students have been trained over the last so many years in the yearly FlySpad workshop which happens take place here. Further to that, we had I personally had gone and got very interested in working in the UAV space, thanks to again the inspiration from Dr. Senthil. And I developed my own internationally patented technology. You can just Google my name, Venkatesh Sai, and WAP, you will find my patent. It relates to the control of an autopilot. We created India's first autopilot, which was supported by Department of Science and Technology. And subsequently we went into various other domains in the automobile space. We manufacture vision systems for the defense called see-through armor systems for autonomous tanks and various such products which have been commercialized in the industry. Coming down to the drone industry per se, I feel that it is a huge opportunity, sir. Thank you, Amber Dubey. Very big opportunity that you have given us, where we really have the opportunity to today become a very large drone hub, especially Tamilnadu, primarily because if you see, Tamilnadu has a rich knowledge in terms of automobile engineering, which is a very established industry, as well as the IT sector, which gets in a lot of innovative content in form of neural networks, artificial intelligence. And the convergence of all this happens especially in terms of drone technology, where we have image processing, we have fusion-based sensor control, we have sensor fusion techniques which have to be deployed for INS-based navigation, IMU-based navigation, so many various things. So it's a beautiful launch pad, and I really think that the time has come now for the Indian drone industry to really boom, really sparkle, and that's primarily because of the relentless effort of Dr. Senthil Kumar, as well as the amazing, the amazing speed, determination as well as initiative which was shown by the Ministry of Civil Aviation and DGCA in getting out such a conducive regulation, which is very conducive for the industry. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Representative from R-Fly, Mr. Gohil. Kanyakumari, please sit here.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Shri Dubey and Dr. Senthil for giving an opportunity to a very small, very new startup like us, which we have just completed 1 year in this particular space. Talking about myself, I have worked in IT industry for more than 35 years. I worked in Indian company, German company, American company, and French company, and I have been doing the global roles. Just last year, I decided to get into the drone. I am from Gujarat. I stay in Maharashtra, and I have started my startup in Chennai. So it's a truly national integration part of it. We are focusing on making the civil aviation application as well as the specialized, customized drones in India. As of now, our local value add, what PLI scheme is talking about, or even the indigenization of the drone is concerned, we make around 65 to 70% of the parts currently out of our facility in Chennai, and we intend to make that 90% in the next couple of years. The global market of the drone is very big. It is maybe 25-26 billion, and it's going to be double in next 3 years. But unfortunately, Indian total drone market, we are just 4% of that, 4 or 5%. And I believe with the kind of steps taken by the government, the kind of step taken by the industry and the academics, we are sure that we will be touching the half of the global market in the coming few years. I am also going to take our company into Middle East as well as the Africa market. African market is similar to Indian market. They are not open today, but they are also changing very fast and growing at around 10% year on year. I have been working in the African countries for last few years and the Middle East countries. And Middle East country, just to give you an example, there are around 80,000 big construction projects are going on. And as a drone industry, we can do a huge work there in those markets. So definitely, apart from looking into the Indian market, we are also looking at Middle East and the African market in the coming few years. And as a R-Fly, we are focusing on the precision and of course reliability and safety, because we were just talking about what are the safety things of the people and for the people when the drones are flying. So these are the two main things we will be focusing as R-Fly. But definitely this particular industry, with the help of the government and what happening in industry, it is going to take the big leaps in the coming time. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raja Raman. I am part of the leadership team at Daksha and Bank Systems Private Limited. Sorry to hold you up during lunchtime. I just wanted to start by introducing myself. I've been part of the aerospace industry for half my life, professional life. I've been part of Pratt & Whitney aircraft engine programs for about 15 years in the US, and then I returned back to India in 2010. And then I've been witnessing a lot of activities over the last, since 2010, and nothing has fascinated me as much as what's happening out here in the drone industry. So we partnered with the university, and we have taken a oath to take the products, take the technology, what has been developed here, and then customize them to the industry applications and then contribute to the economy of India. We are in the business of protecting crops and protecting the country. I thought I invented that, but it so happened that Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri has said it in a much beautiful way several decades ago. I will not talk much about the defense part, partly because it's classified and partly because it's been already covered at length. On the agri side, we have done quite a bit of work. We have addressed the need of farmers without having to depend for a long period of time on imported batteries, lithium batteries, which are currently almost everything is imported. The cells are imported, the batteries are fabricated in some parts. But we converted that into a much more easy to use petrol engine drone, hybrid drone. And as you saw, some of the drones which we designed and manufactured are the ones which were shown in the video. More than that, there is a lot more to it actually. We reduced the consumption of pesticide by about 30%. Today, thank you. The another what you eat or some of the fruits, the pesticide is put on them for 8 times. Okay. They sprayed 8 times actually. The tomatoes you eat today, a lot of them have got pesticides. It's not a news to us, and we all know it, but we are kind of handicapped, in a way. But I think at least we have taken a step forward to reduce that consumption. The consumption of water used in mixing those pesticides, that has been reduced by 80% today. There are a lot more innovations happening in this area. I will not talk only about pesticide. I will go a step further. IFCO has developed nano urea, which we have attempted, which we have successfully demonstrated, and that is revolutionizing. We are talking about 50 kilograms of urea being transported all over the country, and that's being sprayed on the oil. This is a foliage-based absorption, and nano urea which can be used in a drone, and you need only 20 liters of water instead of 200 liters of water, which is otherwise used. So there are a lot of innovations happening, and as a drone manufacturer and a designer, our company is more focusing on the end-use application. What else we can do for the farmers? We have so far identified 4 applications, one of which was covered in elaborate way with respect to the locust problem. The other one is the fertilizer. The other one is micronutrients and biofertilizers. The last one is the pesticide. So these are the 4 major applications. We are still looking for more applications in the farming industry. And our pledge is to make the drone cheaper. We try to make most of it in India, except for a few engine components that are coming outside and a few more smaller components that are being imported today. But the software is made here. We are using some of the very high-end software which we use otherwise for military applications. We have customized them for farming applications. So there are a lot of efforts going on in parallel to make life simple for a farmer. And we are reaching out to them through creating an entrepreneurial environment around the villages. We wanted to, like the young farmer who you saw, we are in the process of training a whole lot of them so that they are the ones who will deliver the service. The farmer need not actually spray it himself, because usually our farmers are having smaller packages of land, like an acre or 2 acres, and a drone may be little too much of an investment for just spraying 1 or 2 acres. So therefore we are forming service units which will spray per village, and that way we can spray a lot more. And we have taken 4 states, southern states and Maharashtra included, to for the next 6 months to spread ourselves in a way, and then we hope to make a difference in this country. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful.
One last word, if you may permit. Government of India has done a whole lot of things. Few things got missed out. It's a confluence of a few things which are making a huge difference to our industry, to the drone industry. One is the drone policy which was talked about. The other one is the GEM marketplace. I don't think it was spoken here, because the GEM marketplace gives a unified interface to all the drone requirements in the country today. I'm very, very happy that every single day I see hundreds of requirements coming up in the GEM marketplace. And the other one is, of course, the PLI scheme. There are a lot more things coming up, and the Kisan subsidies and so many things are awaited. Thank you so much, sir.
Now I'd like to invite Professor Ashok Chakravarti to talk about eVTOL. You are academician as well as a startup programmer. Talk something about how the young entrepreneurs will lead the show.
Right. Actually, Amber Dubey, Tamilnadu President Select Garibate, English President. So, Tamilnadu President eVTOL with Tamil. So, economically, முதல் பாயிண்ட் நாங்கள் ஐஐடியில் இப்போ என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா ஒரு 2-seater ஏர் டாக்ஸி டெவலப் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். 2-seater ஏர் டாக்ஸி ஒரு 200 kilometers range and it's a fully electric eVTOL. It's vertical takeoff and landing and it's fully electric. So இது வந்து we are now doing a subscale version of it. About one month or so we will actually try to fly that. scale version will be ready in about 6 months, is what we expected. That will be this first prototype. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து பல prototypes இருந்தாங்கன்னா certification is a big step. அது ஒரு 2 or 3 years, 2 வருஷம் ஆகும். So by 2024 we are expecting that we can actually launch a commercial service. Maybe we may not launch. There will be service providers. அவங்க எடுத்துப்பாங்க. நம்ம வந்து plane develop பண்றதுல டெக்னாலஜிஸ்ட் வேற வந்து plane கட்டுறது மட்டும் ஓட்டுறதெல்லாம் மட்டும் கற்றுப்பாங்க. இதுதான் என்னுடைய கனவு. இந்த 200 kilometers அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது we have some special science to it. So we are also trying to it's a winged VTOL, so that's why it can go 200 kilometers electric. So we are also trying to make it very slow flying with the help of VTOL. So now we can do multiple short hops within a city or even in rural areas because it's VTOL. And it's the most compact electric VTOL in the world. In fact, any VTOL, forget about electric. So, எதுக்கு அப்படின்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா நம்ம ஊரில் நிறைய இட நெரிசல் இருக்கும். பிகாஸ் பாப்புலேஷன் அதிகமாக இருக்கிறதுனால நிறைய இட நெரிசல் இருக்கும். நமக்கு வந்து எல்லா இடத்துலையும் இந்த பிளேன் போய் தரையிறணும். அதுதான் நம்மளுடைய அதுக்காக வந்து ரொம்ப காம்பாக்ட், எவ்வளோ காம்பாக்டாக இருக்க முடியுமோ அவ்வளோ காம்பாக்ட் இருக்கும். வேர்ல்டுலேயே இதுதான் மோஸ்ட் காம்பாக்ட் டார்கெட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ஸோ we think that we will actually be able to make this accessible to everybody. That is our objective.
For any startup companies, note this point, they are having a huge plans to implement the drone corridor as well. Please we hear from Mr. Ilangovan from TITCO.
Thank you, sir. Respected Dr. Madurai, respected Dubey sir. In fact, I am a great fan of Dubey sir. I have been really chasing you the last when we were in KPMG days. I have been a keen watcher of your speech, the insights you had and that you have in the industry, especially the aerospace defense industry. It's really mind-boggling. That's why government has chosen you as a way of prayer, and you are in a decision-making process. We are very happy to really know that. And our Vice Chancellor, respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Vellore, Professor Senthil, and all other dignitaries, my colleagues, Dr. Satya, dear entrepreneurs and innovators and students. First of all, I thank you, all of you, for having given an opportunity to just say a few words about what has been happening in the defense corridor and what we are planning to, do and where we want to be in the next 5 to 10 years time. I will not take much of your time to be crisp. Before that, I would like to just mention, we normally think that the academics are do the desk research. Now, the MIT and the leadership of Dr. Sandrakumar has really progressed, transformed that from the desk research to the field research. The next step is to now we have to progress towards the field research has to be applied on the commercial applications. That's where now we are into the next challenge. We have been marching towards that. As far as the defense corridor is concerned, I would like to just take a few references done by the speakers. Our Vice Chancellor mentioned that the drone has so many parts. Out of that, the body, that's called aerostructures, is about nearly 40% in terms of its value. That the industries from Tamilnadu has such a huge potential to make use of that. In the next 5 years' time, the drone requirement is about more than 500,000 drones are required in India. That's the mind-boggling numbers. So, in terms of the potentials that local industry has is really huge. And not only that structures, even the motors and controls has also has its own, the bite to take. Tamilnadu Industries definitely has the potential to make all these components required for this drone manufacturing indigenously within the state. That we have the capability. And in terms of the policy support and interventions required to support the industry's innovators, the TIDCO as the nodal agency for the implementation of the defense corridor is coming up with the various support systems in the form of technical supports. We are setting up Center of Excellences in Chennai with support from with the participation from Siemens and the global companies like Dassault Systems, Siemens and GE Aviation. They are investing huge amount in setting up the Center of Excellences which are coming up in the public-private partnership. We are sure those kind of facility will certainly transform the industry ecosystem which is blooming up in Tamil Nadu. I'm sure we will see in a couple of years down the line these kind of systems, supports will be major use to the innovators in industries. Coming to that policy initiatives, there are several incentives are being given to the industries, be it in a capital subsidy or human resources development subsidy and technology subsidy. All these things are available as per the policy. And we are sure in the next 5 years' time, our investments which is going to happen in Tamil Nadu Defense Industrial Corridor will be more than 50,000 crores. That is what we expect. As of now, from the beginning, from the date of announcement of the Defense Industrial Corridor, as of now, nearly 10,000 crores investments have been committed by various industries, mainly by private industries. These numbers will certainly be increased, and all these investments commitments will get realized in the couple of years down the line. They are seeing huge potential, and some happening things are in Tamil Nadu Defense Corridor. And Government of India is also coming out with a lot of the policy reformation, and orders are really flowing in from the Defense Ministry and Defense PSUs as well. And the foreign OEMs also are looking at India in a very positive way. It was not that case in 5 years before. Now their perception about Indian industry's capability is much higher. So that's what we are sensing. And in this context, the entry of the MIT in the drone manufacturing is really, I would say, it like a springboard for the industries, especially the small entrepreneurs who are getting into the drone manufacturing areas a huge potential. So with these few words, I wish all the innovators and entrepreneurs to, strongly get into this field and encourage and be part of the ecosystem which is really emerging strong in Tamil Nadu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful. See, actually, we plan to arrange a flight demonstration outside due to the weather conditions. It could not happen, but I would like to introduce very proudly with my team member, Mr. Nadu. Please come to the stage. What you could see here is a ornithopter. In the year 2000, it has been demonstrated. 20 years demonstrated to Dr. Kalam with many other dignitaries. Sir, you can explain about your ornithopter. Then, if possible, you fly inside. I do not think whether it is possible or not, but you speak about a minute, then you try if possible.
Good afternoon, all of you. My name is Nadu. I am a first Indian who made a flapping wing aircraft in India, year of 2002, and it was appreciated by Dr. Abdul Kalam as well as Dr. Sindhil Kumar also. I am a hobbyist. Okay, so Dr. Sindhil Kumar every 6 months he used to call me and ask what about my development in this hobby and as well as my personal things. He keep on taking interest of my development. Thank you. Actually, we have a plan of flying this aircraft outside, but since it's raining, we couldn't. But I tried to fly it here. Some way you have to give a way when it is coming to you. You please move away and give a way to fly. Thank you.
Where to the bird? Try now.
one I am not flying, just give it to you.
Showing the flap.
Here there is no propeller. Normally we used to have propeller to go forward, propulsion to forward the aircraft. Here it is not doing like that. It is flapping the wing and as well as giving a forward thrust as well as lift. You may see my model in the movie called Nanban, Tamil version of 3 Idiots. In that movie, I only flown that ornithopter as well as quadcopter.
On behalf of Vijay, you only acted. That's a real hero.
Thank you. And I made one more model which is 6 feet wingspan. So I made it 600 before. I'll show you that also.
Because in the future we will play like this.
So I'll launch it. Okay. So better launch it.
Smaller one, bigger one you want. Yeah, wherever you are comfortable, please go ahead.
Yeah, பக்கத்துல வந்தா please move ஆயிடுங்க. Okay.
I am so much proud of to be here in my alma mater. See, I completed my aeronautical engineering in 1984. So the prestigious institute, I am so much proud of that. I was in DGCA just a few months back. I superintended. Myself and Mr. Dubey worked together. I was looking after drones. So we worked together. DGCA and ministry were very proactive on this field, and they are encouraging so many people come up in this field. So as he said, already explained about the rules and norms, and recently 25th August released. It is a simplified rule. It was earlier it was so much restriction and all. Now it is simplified. So this you can say industry friendly rules. When I was in DGCA, we used to give the provisional acceptance. First, when anybody comes to DGCA, we used to accept the design. So we used to give the provisional acceptance of many roads, including our MIT's Daksha roads. Now we are given the job to the QCA, Quality Council of India. Now they are doing a good job. Now coming back to this RPTO, Remote Pilot Train Organization, we used to give RPTO approval to only for flight clubs, that is manned aircraft pilot training schools. Is the CASR-RPTO is the first one we get approval. That is really great. So this is the only organization apart from this flying club. So now Mr. Dubey, I want to say a few words about Dubey. So he is doing a wonderful job in ministry. So he is a giant central level. He is a very simple person. He is easily approachable. He responds to each and every person. He has made a WhatsApp group. So anybody can approach. He is doing a very good job. This program, today's program, outreach program, is a very good program by our university. It is mostly rural will get benefited, and even it will increase these job opportunities for youngsters. So I wish you this program will go for great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. After this, chief guest are visiting a stall. Please all the members be available on the stall. After that, we will proceed for lunch. Lunch arranged for all the members, including all the participants in a mess. Please everyone join us in the lunch. Then after 2:30 to 4, the stalls are open. We are planning to bring about 1,000 students. So they are visiting the stall in the afternoon. Nearby school, particularly all government schools, they are visiting all the stalls. So please explain to the kids. They should understand what we are doing. They are the future of India. Then around 4 o'clock, we have a valedictory function. That time we will have a panel discussion. Please participate all the industry members on the panel discussion. The resolutions will be taken to the DGCA and Ministry of Civil Aviation, and they will take action whatever we are discussing in the panel. Please join the lunch. Please proceed for stalls. program has been defined initially planned at Anna University. This is a way back how we are coming. One fine day, Mr. Amber Dubey, he posted in a Dronacharya group. We want to have a program in Chennai. Then immediately we came forward. Being a leading drone organization, we want to give a platform to everyone. Even it may be a big company or small company or maybe a student side or corporate side. It's an open platform. So we volunteered, we would run the show. Then after various iterations. Initially we planned on CEG campus of Anna University with a lot of flying sessions. Then in between, on 26th of October, our team has got national award. Then based on that, what happened, CM wants to attend the program. But weather not permits, then they have within a month, government is planning to announce Tamilnadu Drone Corporation. It's a big event. Tamilnadu Drone Corporation, we are planning to identify various companies and immediately about 150 people will going to get the job opportunities on contract basis. Minimum salary about 30,000 and maximum of 2.5 lakhs per month of 150 people. We are planning to adopt them to give a open challenge to everyone. So we are keenly watching each and every people's movement in our drones, how the companies are performing. And the reason behind the RPTO, Remote Pilot Training Organization, I think now Government of India, they said they want to take it to Middle East also. The certificate valid in Middle East also. Further they are going for approval. With this note, I would like to invite Mr. Sai to give his opinion about what industry expects, whether in terms of technology or funding. Here, right forum, Dr. Mailswamy and others are also here. Project Krishnamurthy, they are responsible for Tamilnadu Defence Corridor. They are going to implement a lot of projects, particularly on defence. In a drone has given a special emphasis. And Telangan sir also is here.
No, it's the session after lunch is normally very dull session. But looking at the enthusiasm here, I'm sure it's going to become quite lively in the near future. Well, I am Sai Pattabhiram. I am the MD and founder of Zupa Geonavigation Technologies. We are a company who are primarily into drone-related electronics, or you could call it as unmanned-related electronics. So we work on the electronic systems for unmanned vehicles. So we worked on platforms. We've got a patented technology, which I'm sure you all would have heard Venkat talk about it earlier during the day. And it's been published in the WIPO, and we've derived a lot of products from it, and we're working on the electronic side of drones as well as IoT and Industry 4.0. So some of the points that came to my mind when this was of course extempo because Sanjay just told me about it. So I think so some of the points that came to my mind is what I would be expressing. I would be looking at it primarily from an electronics manufacturing perspective. And the reason why I say specifically that electronics manufacturing is a critical part in the drone ecosystem is because what electronic control and communication is what takes a person out of an aircraft, the pilot out of an aircraft. And what makes it unmanned is the electronics. And when we talk about drones, that is the fundamental core part of the drone technology, which is what makes it unmanned. So whether you call it an unmanned ground vehicle or an unmanned surface vehicle or an unmanned aerial vehicle, the unmanned factor comes in primarily from the electronics. And that is where we have worked a lot in that area, and we have a global patent for that area as well. We are making drone autopilots. Now, this is an area where most of the drone technology, and including drones, comes under, when we are talking about a global level, when we are talking about Middle East, when we are talking about Africa, when we are talking about export, they all come under what is called as the SCOMET regulations, SCOMET. Now, SCOMET regulations prevent somebody from exporting drone electronics or related electronics without a license, without an export license. Now this is the international regulations for which India is a part of this ecosystem. So we need to sensitize the government as to how Indian companies would be able to, say, sell autopilots or drone-related electronics online to entities abroad. And how are we going to fulfill the norms? Because in this Chromepet system, the end-user declaration is absolutely a must. So how do you work with an end-user declaration that will take 1 month for the whole process to complete? So one of the things that I would think that we need to ask the government and suggest is there a way of easing that particular process by which we will be able to export electronic products related to unmanned systems? And I think Chennai is very well placed for that, because one is we have a very strong automobile industry, we have a strong electronic industry, and we have the IT. There are the three components that are required for building unmanned systems is very much within Tamilnadu and very much within Chennai. So I think we need to figure out some ways by which these rules could be worked around, or how the rules can be worked on to make sure that we would be able to emerge as an export hub under these Chromepet regulations. The second thing is that I think one of the things that we know from a global perspective is that the drone autopilot, for example, recently we've done a research. There are about 6 or 7 companies which have proprietary autopilot, and there are a whole lot of companies which are emerged from Pixar and the APM for the open source category. But there are only about 6 or 7 companies in the proprietary autopilot, which of course today is dominated by micropilot. And one of the things that we can look at is from a market perspective, how can we move against something like micropilot, where we have cost advantage and manpower advantage can be leveraged in this, in this current environment, how we can take it forward. Because with the growth of volumes, I'm sure that this particular autopilot technology can move from currently the SOM or the SOC level down to a wafer level, and for that those things require a lot of investment. So my request to the government would be, how exactly can we participate, how exactly can the government help in converting something like an electronic SOM, SOC technology to a wafer level, because that is something that will be a huge game changer in the near future. So these are the few points that I have been thinking about from the manufacturer.
Number one, you are asking about the export of drone and drone components. That means in many of the forums, the people are talking about only how India can utilize the drones, but you are talking about what is the policies and other things involved on exporting of the drones. Definitely we will look for a global level, not only for local level. Maybe this, and the second one, how the manpower has been leveraged properly. I think these two questions, maybe Krishnamurthy sir, you can give any opinion about this. Sai, practically I know him very well. 15 வருஷமா தெரியும். எனக்கு இன்னைக்கு நிறைய ட்ரோன்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணா one of the reasons சாய் கூட சொல்லலாம். Very first they worked on aero modeling. Then I only told him aero modeling வேணா வாங்க ட்ரோன் போலாம் அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு. I think in 2010 we visited China, I think so. And we visited China, myself and Sai, and seen a lot of companies, small companies. அன்னைக்கு மீட் பண்ண எல்லாரும் இன்னைக்கு big companies in China. Maybe அது DGCA இருக்கட்டும், இல்லைன்னா டீம் மோட்டராக இருக்கட்டும், அன்றைக்கி ஒரு குடிசை தொழிலாக இருந்தவங்கலாம் இன்றைக்கி they are dominating the entire world. அதனால தான் அவர் கேட்குறாரு, ஏன் நம்ம ஒன்லி இந்தியாவுக்கு மட்டும் வேலை பார்க்கணும், we will export the drone to the rest of the world அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாரு. ஸோ அதுக்கான ஆன்சர்ஸ் மேபி கிருஷ்ணமூர்த்தி சார், ப்ளீஸ்.
Thanks sir. I'll just introduce myself Krishnamurthy. I'm from 2002 civil service batch, allotted to Indian Ordnance Factory Service. I worked in Indian Factory Avadi and then Aravangaru in Ordnance Factory. Then I went on deputation, worked in Ministry of Shipping, closely associated with the Sagarmala programs, whether being not national waterways or all the port modernization, all port connectivity. So all the Sagarmala projects we have closely developed and then got it implemented for about 7 years. Thereafter, I worked in Ministry of Defence for 3 years. Now I have joined TIDCO, which is the nodal agency for a defence corridor. You may be knowing there are 2 defence corridors announced by Government of India. One is in UP and another is in Tamilnadu. So last month I have taken over as the charge of project director in TIDCO. So after the announcement of project corridor, Elamon is with me. They have done number of groundwork and then roadmap for taking the defence corridor to next level, Tamilnadu defence corridor. We have aerospace and defence policy, which give number of incentives and packages for the manufacture, setting up of industry for manufacturing various components and also related services that I request Mr. Yelongovan to highlight it. That policy also, it is under revision, especially to take care of startups. The startups who are getting selected in IDEX platform, but for funding, they are not able to complete the projects. Those we are targeting those startups. They can come to Tamil Nadu. So the remaining funding will be addressed by TIDCO. That is one of the interventions we are doing. And then we have also introduced the new concept of Make 1, Make 2, Make 3. The industries, the categories of industries under DPP for procurement policy. So where there is a shortage of fund, that also will be addressed by TIDCO. These are all few interventions may be related to you. So that is regarding the aerospace policy, which is under revision, which will be shortly expected. Apart from the policy, we are creating a center of excellence in association with the GE, morning Mr. Elangovan was mentioning, Dassault system, and then Siemens along with the Tata. So it is basically to address the new product development and then skill development and also research center. This center of excellence we are planning to establish in Aerospace City, one of the defense industrial park we have developed and almost it is completed. The development is completed. It is situated in Shri. And we have identified various products and various defense parks. More than 9 parks we have identified. And it is it is in the land acquisition stage. We will be developing. We have strategy, very specific strategy for each park. And coming to center of excellence, this why I am referring to center of excellence is Dassault system and Siemens, the research center will be in association with these 2. That will give you a designing of drones. That will facilitate. He was talking about the international benchmarking with the international standards. So our collaboration with the international leading people in the form of center of excellence, which will be a greatest enabler. In addition, we have strategy of creating common user facilities. So for drones, recently the Government of India, they always comes with a kind of scheme where you have to participate in the tender and all. So we have a consortium along with the Daksha, Anna University, IIT, where our drone man of Dr. Sendil Kumar with active participation we could bring Anna University and Professor Mailsami is there. So we have participating and to the extent of 60 crores, we are going to create a world-class testing infrastructure. All, whatever small drone or middle or the drone infrastructure we are targeting it is world-class. And we have a number of various other interventions as a policy level. So these are the few steps from TIDCO, the nodal agency we are taking. And coming to the questions Sai sir was mentioning, India drone, first of all, Turkey and then USA and Israel and all very leading agencies in manufacturing. And definitely it is not only, and India also has come out with a policy that there will be a lot of spokes for development of drone. Morning Mr. Amber was mentioning PLA scheme, various other interventions, various policy framework has come out. So we should become, India should become a hub and Tamil Nadu should be a hub among all the scope, and we should definitely target The foreign countries, where Government of India has identified friendly countries, there definitely we can manufacture. We can manufacture here and we can export to foreign countries. And as Mr. Senthil was mentioning, we are going to Government of Tamilnadu. Soon they are going to announce the formation of drone corporation for manufacturing small drones, which will be a what I should say, it is a important game changer. When the creation of jobs, there is one way it is all coming down, reality. And here is the area, very potential area for diversification. It will change completely the economic outlook. It will change. How Mr. Chandru could demonstrate agriculture, it is going to be a revolution. So, starting from the small drones, which will be addressed by drone corporation, the various we are creating an infrastructure where we will be targeting the investment from abroad countries also. So that hotspot will be created. We will be housing the drone corporation also, and then pilot organization, FPO is coming back. So with all this ecosystem, we should target, manufacture world-class drones, and we should target for exporting the drones to the friendly countries identified in the government.
Wonderful, sir. You talked about, then I would like to have a view from Ilangovan, sir. I think Ilangovan, sir, I had an interaction with more than 15 years. In everyone we're talking about a drone. I know him for the past 15 years. We were the one worked together and looked into how the aerospace company will bring into India, and particularly in Tamil Nadu. We worked in many things, but not materialized due to various factors. I think this time we will hit the 6 and win the cup through the drone corporation, sir. With this note, please give your feedback, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Senthil, for your very impressive introduction. In fact, my colleague, Mr. Krishnamoorthy, has given an elaborative view of the actions being taken to the government side and the emergence of the ecosystem in Tamil Nadu, especially drone manufacturing. I also, in fact, I'm really impressed to note Mr. Sai's reference that when we are just in the formation of drone manufacturing and emergence of technology and manufacturing ecosystem, he is really thinking, far-reaching thinking of exporting. That's really heartening, and I'm sure I'm a believer. I'm in fact optimistic that this should happen. It will happen. It will emerge. For that, I'm just giving a small reference. The ecosystem. People were talking about ecosystems and all. I'm just giving a small flavor in the business processes. Many people spoke about the technologies, etc. In terms of business processes, so ultimately all the technology has to sustain the the financial viability. Then only it has to become a commercially acceptable to the society. In terms of business processes, I'm saying the ecosystem building. The ecosystem building means all the support systems should be available in that locality. So, for example, here the ecosystem means the designing is one of part of the element which is part of the drone manufacturing. Then prototyping, testing, and manufacturing. And manufacturing not on a single element. There are so many elements. The structures are one element, the motors are another element, and control systems, cameras, like that. So many elements are there. All these elements are to be designed, developed, and manufactured within Tamil Nadu. Then only it becomes an ecosystem. Ecosystem is not new to Tamil Nadu. It is in fact, it is all imbibed in our mind. Pathina Pattamadapai, Kovilpatti, Nagalamundai, and Savagasi Vedi, then Tirupur Baniyan. Why should we mention these names? These are all manufactured in an effective manner, an economical manner, with available resources in that particular location. So that's what the ecosystem. So our mindset, the entrepreneur's mindset in Tamil Nadu is not due to the building of the ecosystem. It is there already. The ecosystem of these aerospace, defense and drone manufacturing is a slightly in a different version, that's all, in a different platform, that's it. And it is happening, we are seeing that, really it's happening. And as Mr. Krishnamurthy mentioned, the enabling provisions what the government is providing is the interventions both the soft and hard. Soft means, the designing aspect, helping them in designing aspects. For example, the Center of Excellence which is coming up. Probably that will be one of the kind in India where the engineer, the entrepreneurs and the innovators can make use of that Center of Excellence, who can design the products, prototype it, test it, and finally you really come out with the product, what you want to make. So that's the kind of support, this intervention. And the hard intervention is providing the physical infrastructure like, functional aerospace and defense parks, wherein suppose you have grown to a level where you want to manufacture thousands of drones in a year, you need to have a production facility. For that we are creating the infrastructure like industrial park kind of things. And research and development, of course, people like Dr. Kanyakumari is there and many people are there. So these are all the things are really emerging. I don't want to take much more of time. And before that, I would like to just flag one challenges and very important point with all the entrepreneurs. I wish the students, earlier we were all looking for jobs and all. Now you have a mind of becoming an entrepreneur. There are so many areas. This is one management, one area. Whichever area you choose, always look for challenges. There will not be always enabling environment. Our society's job is to discourage you. That means it will test your capability. You should not get bogged by these kind of challenges. When there is a financial challenge, when there is a technical challenge, when there is a competitive challenges, when there is a policy challenges, we should not get bogged down to that kind of challenges. The only thing what I am suggesting is it's easy to set being done than done. Always easy, but at the same time it's really painful exercise. Many entrepreneurs who have become a larger industrialists have gone through a lot of challenges, so many challenges, cycles. So that kind of things are awaiting for you to become an entrepreneur. It's not a success alone. There are so many other sides of that. At the same time, there is we know where we need to move. There is we have identified this one. What I am trying to say is the drone manufacturing is an opportunity given to all the entrepreneurs and the stakeholders like University, Chipko, government and all these people. They also recognize their responsibilities and they want to travel along with you. So what I am trying to say finally, we are not going to limit ourselves for the manufacturing for our own requirement. We have to manufacture for the global requirement. So with this small note, I think I'll take more time and I'll leave it to you. Thanks, sir.
Wonderful, sir. The rest of the second question is not answered till yet. I request Dr. Mailswamy Annadhurai to address how the manpower capital is used for the size question. You can discuss about your recent Dubai visit and how we can export the manpower with the technology with the drones, sir.
Yeah, I think since you was asking, morning also I was mentioning about the ongoing Expo 2020 or 2020, because suppose we have been once in 5 years, like Olympics, once in 5 years, the expos coming internationally, and current expo is basically attended by nearly 191 countries, that's what I was told. And it showcases, every country they showcase their heritage, then all the way to what they are today and how they are projecting themselves next 5 to 10 years. Okay, and the idea here is one way attracting the people in terms of tourism, another way attracting the people for the education, or for the investment, or for the technology. I think these are all everything encapsulated when a pavilion of one country is kept. Correct? India pavilion is there. This is one side to show what India is. India was. Okay, the overall heritage point of view, other thing is there. Then bringing to the level of what India is today, and how India is planning to emerge in the one showcase the world so that whether India can be a destination for very many things like for healthcare, for education, for the trainings, for the investment, or for the technology means, for example, the launch opportunities what India can give. Okay, and how India is economical and how India is planning to be much more economical. For example, we are talking about our cost to 1/3. Already PSLV is one of the very, very economical launch vehicle compared to anybody else. But now that can be improved upon with the geometrical geolocation of Tiruvallur along with a new launch vehicle together. Overall launch cost we can bring down to 1/3. That means that there is some sort of attraction, especially the coming years post-COVID. A good number of launches of small satellites, like a drone is one thing. The small satellites of 200 to 400 satellites or multiples are going to launch. Even during the COVID, I don't know how many are there. Last 18 months alone, more than 1,500 satellites were launched across the globe. Okay? And this is as much as 50% of what was launched last 60 years. Okay? So that result shows how things are emerging and how a possible system here in India can bring that thing there. Now taking the same thing down the line, the new now, definitely drones are being addressed very well in other countries also. Various points point of view. Again, maybe one side maybe for education point of view, another side taking to the defense or the agriculture. Very, 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 very things that I about. So when that's happening, how fast people can accept, how fast people can acquire it. For example, India also acquired space in its own long way. But the people cannot wait 60 years to get that technology there. So how fast they can get the new, especially African, South American countries, are looking for how fast they can get. And there, the new now, post-COVID is, many of the countries are shying away from China. Okay, so that probably brings to a possible scenario whether India can make use of that. And for the India to make use of that, as Shri has told, India should be ready for it. Okay, to make use of it, we should be ready for that. To be ready for it, definitely we need to have beyond the integrated assemblers, we are in the making of the drones. Okay, the assembly and the making makes a lot of difference. Already he was referring that way. Yes, the brain of thing is concerned to that, but still he was telling about the way for we have to go, where we have to come. So now looking at here, we are talking about automobile industry is huge. Automobile industry also now we look at here good amount of electronics and sensors. And when we are talking about the drone, it's only a fraction of that we are going to consume. But you know that right away also, post-COVID when it came, many fab labs, they not come back. Automobiles, engines, everything is ready, but they have their own microcircuits not there. They have the difficulty. I know that some of the other projects where automation we are supposed to do, the PLCs are very, very simple thing, but still some one or two chips good enough to be a bottleneck for that. So now you look at comparatively when we talk about so-called technologically advanced, we talk about here, we have gone to the moon, Mars, yes we have done. But still other countries which are not even dreamt about moon or Mars, they have the fab labs. Okay, and very, very unfortunate we don't have. I think it's high time when we are asking the startups to go up with that, I think it's high time government only has to intervene here. I think the government only has to intervene here. And that point of view, I think the fab labs, it's not only for drones. Drones is, when we are discussing here about drones, we are talking about that. But not only the drones, I think the whole of, the software side we have done. But towards the hardware, I think more or less we are assemblers. I think we should accept that. Okay. But beyond that, we have to come, means definitely fab labs have to come stay here. And I think it's a high time. High time should happen. As far as Shri has told, I fully understand. But it is not only for the drones alone. It is for the whole integral part of whether we talk about drones, we are talking about automobile, we are talking about whatever we are talking about, even healthcare. Healthcare, we talk about that, but still you need a number of systems that are supposed to come there. So that way, I think a thrust has to be given. One side, the policies are coming out, how the drones can be operated, how drones can be used, applied, other things. But at the source end, to make everything ready. Today, I think almost engines also looks like it is come ready. Okay, even for that also, for him to make that numbers, probably the investment will not much, but still government's support definitely will help him. I know he himself is struggling where the startup had to make. I know him personally, there's a building, but still, that's not happening. What is happening is when you talk about just slightly dull about what Mr. Dubey has told. The ecosystem is, actually, sometime back I was talking about our STPC presentation again. When we talk about we have an ecosystem, that ecosystem should be such that somebody is ready with the technology and the ecosystem is able to catch him and make him to come up that way. It's not, he made a technology, but he himself is run around for the fund. That's not happened. I think that's not a correct way. So that means as such a technology, we know that technology is required, but somebody made the technology. I think we must have to give the benefits to him such that he comes out with that way. So like that, we have some of the things which are available in some technology readiness level, maybe 4 or 5, whatever it is. He can come up and he can do that. Another thing is, the main thing is, even beyond, I think, Fab Lab, is various forums we talked about, and very, very small level, I think this is a bit complex. To some extent, it is trying to make what ISRO requirements are there, but it is definitely cannot meet the requirement of the whole of India what is looking for. But now when we are talking about export, okay, then it's a totally different ballgame. Okay, when you are trying to export, when you have everything by you, I think the export is possible. Or else, there is every possibility somebody can arm twist you. You cannot make for your own need itself. I know in the space it has happened with that. When we are trying to export, definitely somebody arm twist you, and so that you yourself will suffer, not able to go that way. So that I think not to happen there. I think at the earliest, as far as we are concerned here, I think we should make everybody agree. I think that should be one of the thing from our side. Fab Labs, few numbers have to come. That will enable not only drones. Drone is one of the beneficiaries, but the whole of electronics industry in India will come up that way. And I think this is my submission.
Thank you so much for supporting, sir. So understanding us. So actually, from myself, Tривallur. Myself, Tривallur. I have a startup called Kaveri Aerospace. We used to work on gas turbine engines as well as UAV gasoline engines. So we have successfully developed 3 engines of 20cc for medium class UAVs, and then 60cc for mid-range UAVs, and then 120cc for high-range UAVs. And this 120cc engines also used for agricultural drones. We also successfully tested for its reliability and then durability for it. So as a startup concern, we used to spend a huge amount of money for developing the product as well as testing. So we have, as of now, we are out of money to make the product ready for the market. If the government support us to make the product to be for being commercialized, we will be very grateful for the things. Please, sir.
Sir, I would like to request maybe Krishnamurthy sir, maybe a right person to answer for this. See, not only Kirpa, I have seen many of the startup companies. I think they have proven in many places. They have a right product and a drone ecosystem also starting gearing up. From the user point of view, I am not from your side, I am from here, that's why I am sitting here. So is there any kind of funding we can create a common link? Maybe TIPO is known for industry development. In any way, we can create some policies, small corpus funding and support like this venture. Maybe in IIT they have a tech park kind of thing. But for newcomers, they don't have any kind of platform. Is there, I think that may be the question right away I am taking. Is there any forum they can get a small funding? Even we can think of taking a stake from them also. Like IIT Madras. If you go IIT Research Park, one condition is you should be alumni of IIT and you should have some IIT professors' concerns on that. But you could see a lot of people, a lot of young budding engineers, they are are doing fantastic thing. Including Mr. Sai also, I have seen from the last 10 years, if you have enough funding for them, they will lead our Tamilnadu in the face of the drones. There are so many companies out there. Is there any possibilities? Maybe it's some difficult question.
No, not a difficult question, but maybe typical question.
Kumar, you cannot switch over your place from here to there yet. Okay. Anyhow, we will respect your will and your thinking to support industry. Thank you.
Actually, I am new for government of Tamil Nadu. But what I understand, last 1 month, my interaction with the MSME department and ED, they are supporting startup, for small startup in up to say from 10 lakhs and all, for emerging levels. So they are supporting. Last budget, government of Tamil Nadu has announced TIC and STIC, Tamil Nadu Startup Investor Visa. So I think they are working out for about they are going to complete some good sum. And we can get into the details. If it is not there, TIPCO is always there for industrial promotion. TIPCO, we have supported so far more than 150 joint venture along with the private company. We will only put investment as an equity infusion. And then the companies, we see that the companies successfully functioning. Titan is one of the examples. Even more than the Tata, TIPCO is having share.
To supplement Mr. Masud's points, as he rightly said, TIPCO is mainly mandated to promote joint ventures in Vellore, the public-private partnership. Last almost half a century, it has created more than 150 joint ventures. We invest along the people. After certain, bringing the companies to a level, then we will divest ourselves to reach the other people. And as of now, our MCAP is about 30,000 crores. That is, Titan is our JV company, where we have, as I said, more the share than Tata. But we leave the day-to-day management to the promoters. That's why many of the JV companies successfully done. We don't intervene on the day-to-day operations. Coming to this, the support for the startups. So far, we were not having a specific program for startups, but now we are devising that. But apart from that, as he said, there is one institution called Tamilnadu Startup Initiative Design. And he also has a small wing where they are giving loans to the startups. And recently we formulated a policy with central government wherein we have factored one element wherein the startups will be given funding. So if that is coming under the MEC 1, MEC 2, MEC 3 category. And as he said, you approach us, okay, what we will do, we will identify which is the agency, whether it is a TIC or DIC, District Industry Center. There is a program called SEED program. We will try to fit in which program your need will be, your proposal will be fitted. Then we will recommend to them, we will write to them. We will ensure that we will try to help you get the funding, right funding. At the same time, if you have order, there are banks will also help you. They are also ready to support. CP is there. The SBA, there is a small there is startup wing. There is one wing is there to support the startups. Like that, financial institutions also they are providing support. Anyhow, you approach us, we will try to help you. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful, sir.
And
The forum is open. Anyone can raise the questions. Mr. Sai wants to talk something.
Dr. Sandipkumar was telling that one question is still open. That is, what is the support from the government for export? That is the first question from the Sai. Okay, there are two things can be exported. One is the product asset. Second is the human resources. The product is a drone manufacturer. There is a writer. He is an experienced man. He knows when there is an export from the country, there is a challenge. The other country probably may put you on a small slant that you should not to IQ the export. But in this case, in the case of drone manufacturing, I don't think except certain countries, except for a certain military application, you can export the drones. But have we grown to that level? That is one point we have to think about. And in human resource export, that is always possible because nowadays young minds are getting trained, we have to skill up them. Once we skill up them, then we can export them. They go to the job. This is called export, human resource export. That is already happening, but slowly it will improve also. So government is always ready to, the government agents ready to support the export opportunities.
Excuse me. I am Sitaraman. I am one of the startup company from startup consultancy. I am also part of DGCA as I work as a consultant. I applied for PAN seed regarding the drone service, whatever we have designed that part. But I don't know, we have not got selected. But unfortunately, during Corona time, we are not in a position to build a 3D park modeling. I requested Dr. Sindhu sir, through this reference, we started the facility of Madurai University facility and we started building this one. And moreover, we have a knowledge base and we are designing and developing a new indigenous design skill wise. But to convert into next product level, we are little bit suffering on the perspective of investment perspective for the innovation fund. So I would request all you people support for such innovative ideas to become this product. That is a sincere request from our side. And moreover, timing, Dr. Sindhu Kumar sir also supported, he is assuring that he will give some few drones for us to test our product. So this kind of support are initially required for us, company like a startup. This is only a request, it is not a question.
Well, my point was on 2 points. This is related to both the question regarding the making of the silicon maker. Now, we have used our autopilot technology not only for the drone autopilot as a primary product, which was supported by DSC under the Tanzania Safety Innovation Fund. That was by way of a small drone for at a low interest cost. That was the primary product that was developed. Subsequent to that, we have developed, we have taken, it's like if you can navigate a drone using GPS, you can track a vehicle using GPS. If you can recover sensory data, using wireless, you can use GSM to this thing. So we got into IoT, we got into vehicle telematics, we got into connected vehicles, as well as drones. But the original product is the drone vehicle. And recently we have used our proprietary technology for the defense, for creating a very unique product, which is, multiple camera inputs are fused into a single vision for the driver so that they don't have to get out of the tank. So this is a product that we have used our indigenous technology to. So as sir was saying, when you get down to the wafer level or you get down to the SOC or the SOC level, and you also have, the designing capability change the application of that expands beyond this. It gets into the whole space of IoT, it gets into the space of connected vehicles. And connected vehicles is something which definitely Tamilnadu has a huge scope for being one of the biggest automobile hubs. So obviously, when you get into that technology level further down, it doesn't remain restricted only to the drone level, it moves to other levels as well. This was the point I was wanting to make. And this is where I think one of the factors is that for getting down to that level and for making something that level, the investment requirement is huge. The payoff time is a little longer, so no private investors invest in that kind of technology. That's been one of the challenges we have been facing till today. Because private investors have windows between 3 years or 5 years payback. A wafer technology and SOM technology to move into the volume-based level takes much longer than that. So obviously the cost associated, the payback for the private investors is much more. So they definitely, these are areas which I think government should look at trying to take the technology. And that's where we also are working towards it, to how we can take our autopilot technology which has worked
Sundar sir for giving an opportunity to participate in Tamilnadu Drone Technology Enabling Festival. From RPTO trainings, see, because when we go through the websites, we are really happy to got approval from an university like in Chennai. And our mission is that to establish in each and every district in Tamil Nadu so that everyone can get training. And fee structure. Apart from fee structure, sir, it's like we are going to approach the farmers, like sir says that we are going to train the farmers. But according to the fees, it's like 60,000, 40,000. I don't think they can afford. And government should look into that and reduce some of the, at least 50% or something, whatever percentage they can reduce. And second thing is that now in exhibition, when we put into the star, there is a lot of small manufacturers that are approached. There are new startups companies and they are approached us. Like sir, we are manufacturing these parts, like this part. So as Sai said, like we are focused on, we will focus on to the export level. So we should get first manufactured things. So my suggestion is that அவங்க எல்லாரும் சின்ன அந்த மேனுஃபேக்சர்ஸ் எல்லாருமே ஒரு குரூப் பண்ணி நம்ம ஒரு அசோசியேஷன் மாதிரி பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன இருக்குங்கிறத நம்ம பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா definitely Anna University can take this step forward, sir. So this makes it will sound good, sir. And we are really happy and to be here in MIT campus. And this festival I would suggest to celebrate in every year, like aero shows in Hyderabad, Dubai show there, the same thing is to be happen here, particularly not in Chennai. It has to be in every district in Tamil Nadu, all over Tamil Nadu, so that all the village peoples, all the village entrepreneurs can get the more knowledge. Because in Chennai, those are available in Chennai, they can only come on visits. But if you go through all the districts, so everybody can get the opportunity to get into this. So that's what. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Our points are very well taken. Regarding to the DGCA fees, it's the initial launch of the program. Today morning we had a talk with Mr. Amber. They told year after, I think nearly about more than 500 RPTOs is going to come. Now because of the available infrastructure, only few schools are they approved. Every month they are going to release at least some 10 schools. If you have a capability, you can apply. They are also ready to give the school. If more number of schools come, then automatically fees will get reduced. That is that's for your answer. The rest of the thing, the association already, I think AIDIT, Aerospace Industries Development of Association of Tamil Nadu, a forum is available. You can join with them and you can come with the ideas. Already they agreed. A lot of funding opportunities are available. We should explore ourselves. We should prove ourselves. Then automatically funding is not a problem. People will come, they will support you eventually. Another question, like Aero India, like the thing, we may think of the drone festival. We will, Tamil Nadu may lead, and every year some particular month we can focus and we will have a drone festival and we will attract each and every people from the entire world, not only from Chennai, from the rest of the world. Should do that.
Sir, my name is Guru Prakash. எனக்கு என்ன ஒரு டவுட்னா, இப்போ இஸ்ரோட எதுவும் பிளான் இருக்கா ஒரு ட்ரோனை வந்து ஸ்பேஸ் ரோவராக கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணி மார்ஸ் ஆர் லூனாருக்கு அனுப்புற மாதிரி ஃபியூச்சர் பிளான் எதுவும் இருக்கா?
Okay. Morning itself I told that. Okay. இங்கே இருக்கிறதுல அங்கேயே பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்ட்டு இல்லையா, நேர்முனை அப்படின்னு பேசிட்டு வந்தால் நான் மார்னிங் ஆல்சோ ஐ hinted. I think that it will happen. Cannot be in the moon, but Mars I think it's possible. Already the work is cut to Dr. Senthil. Actually we introduced ourselves first that way only. He came to me only that way. Then only I realized what the road is there. So I think in the Mars there is a finite possibility because the atmosphere being there and I think we can do it.
For answer to your question, first நான் சார் கூட இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணது அப்படிதான். மார்ஸுக்கு வந்து 3 அனுப்பலாங்க. அப்போ சொன்னார் மார்ஸுக்கு 3 ட்ரோன் அனுப்புறவெல்லாம் அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம், நீங்கள் ஃபஸ்ட்டு வில்லேஜுக்கு வந்து ஃபார்மருக்கு அனுப்புங்கன்னு. அதனால தான் இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் இனிஷியேட் பண்ணிவிட்டு கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக மூவ் பண்ணிட்டு. ஓகே, இன்றைக்கி தேவை வந்து மார்ஸுக்கு தேவையோ இல்லையோ, பட் ஃபார்மர்ஸுக்கு ட்ரோன் வேணும்.
Harish here, recently joined with Daksha team and I'm taking care of
reaching out all this village area, the agriculture drones. I have a couple of things. One is for Sai sir. The thing is like, can we do biometrics end user thing in drones?
Yeah, that is very much possible. We can integrate any kind of sensor onto our autopilot. So not a problem.
So once we do that, the morning Dr. Sandeep Mittal sir said that the security concerns over the drone, when some unwanted thing happens, we can track down who are all the people used.
In fact, to answer your question there, I think I have been, kind of interacting with in the drone regulatory space. And Dr. Senthil knows, and Mr. Ambar Dubey also knows, that we have been, we've been talking continuously about the requirement of a physical tracker on the drone. And in the current drone regulation, it is there that it is one of the mandatory components is a independent GPS tracker that is not, that is independent of the drone, so that even if the drone crashes, it will still send its signal independently to the so this is there in the regulation for tracking the drones. Now, as far as the user is concerned, normally I think as per the rules, the UIN of the drone would be tied up to a pilot or to a company, and the company would assign a pilot to fly the drone. That is the case. So considering that, I think, if you want, whatever electronically needs to be integrated can be integrated. But there are parts in the system which I think Vasant Raj would also be able to give you information on what is there in the regulation for tracking.
Yeah. When it comes to drone tracking and identifying the rogue drones, there is a need of implementing the Internet of Drones. Even if you have biometric identification of the drone, it may be helpful for you to identify whether you are an owner or a non-owner. But the implementing agencies or the law enforcement agency want to identify whether it's a rogue drone or a licensed drone only by means of identifying their NPNT number, which is one of the policy which is under digital sky from the DGCA. And how we are going to extract the information from the drone which is flying on the sky. We want to send a patrol drone exactly how the patrolling vehicles are moving in the highways. So it used to send the request signal to all the drones. Whenever there is an appropriate acknowledgement from the drones comes to the patrolling drones, then only it allows the drones to move further. Otherwise, it will alert to the concerned law enforcement agencies who is there in the particular premises, and he will rush into the location with the help of n numbers of anti-drone technology. He will take back the drones, which is non-authorized. Of course, your question is right. We can implement any kind of an biometric sensor into the device for your own security purpose, and it's all how you are programming your SOC to implement the AI intelligence. And when it comes to the next category of the drone security, most of the time we used to say that the drone whichever going to be imported, there may be some flaws or there may be some bugs are there in the drones to spy you. But rightly mentioned by Sai as well as from the other dignitaries, we are importing the chips. Most of the chips are manufactured in China or from US or from Taiwan. Nowadays, you can integrate any kind of an circuit inside the chip itself with the help of the VLSI technology and nanoelectronics technology, and there you can even put the circuit inside the chip itself to bug you. So we need the Silicon Valley to eradicate such kind of bugs which is going to be implemented in the drone industry and also the other industries wherever we are using the vapors. And the another point is we are the #1 vapor designer in the worldwide. Most of the vapor which was manufactured from Intel and also from AMD Athlon and other processors were designed in Bangalore. That is the world silicon vapor design valley. But we don't have a manufacturing facility which is not can be implemented by a single person or an entity. It need an ecosystem and stakeholder arrangement. The government want to come up with a policy to set up such kind of an ecosystem, and academic and as well as the researchers want to come up with to implement the ecosystem. It's because the vehicles sizes keep on increasing as per the Moore's law. So we were there in the MEMS, now we are in the NEMS, and it's going in even further in the single electron transistors. So it is necessary to have an interaction and also an hands-on experience with industry as well as the institutional partners to do the continuous R&D as like a drone. Drone is one of the cyber physical system which is going to take the chip as an intelligent device on board. But rightly mentioned by Sai, chip is an core or brain of any electronic system that we want to manufacture right now, otherwise we will be lagging the global market. Thank you.
Thank you. The second thing is, in Tamilnadu alone, to reach out this agriculture sector, the existing setup is like we have 113 large societies, agriculture societies, and 1,800 large cooperative societies. So, if government dignitaries help it out through a project where we can give agriculture spraying drone to these 1,800, this will cover up entire market for this first year. And not only it is a cost project to the government, it's a revenue project for the government, because each acre spraying the cost is something around 550 rupees, where our drone can catch up only for less than 200 rupees, including the petrol cost. So 300 is a saving. Even government charges 100 rupees more. Within 10,000 acres, the initial cost will be coming out. This will be a great project if authorities can help it out for Daksha.
To answer your questions, already we are in discussions with the TISCO. That is the ideal time to start the Tamil Nadu Drone Corporation. We are talking with various government agencies like Agricultural Department and Disaster Department, Revenue Department. Even for service industry, we will get about 1,200 revenues from the drone services. So to answer your question, wait for a month, we will come with a good solution. With this note, we will restrict 1 or 2 questions, then we will come for a conclusion. If further more questions, you can mail us. We will answer through your email, because a lot of discussions keep on going on. For 1 or 2 questions.
TIPCO, just I mean, TIPCO will support, we will invest in the drone corporation, so we will take it forward.
Yeah, there is a voice from them. Give a big hand. TIPCO will support the Tamil Nadu Drone Corporation to Anna University. Anna University will support all the drone entrepreneurs. So wonderful message at the end of the panel discussion. I don't think any other questions are left out. The answer has come.
For chip manufacturing also it was mentioned, we are developing a park exclusively for EV park in Vellore, and we are also in the process of creating a center of excellence where testing equipment and various other equipments. We are welcome. Why we should look for foreign countries, Taiwan and all, for coming here and setting up infrastructure. Only thing we require round the year water and all, some kind of huge investment in it. TIPCO will support. And we can identify even Salem and all. Recently I have visited Salem to identify the industrial park for the development. And near to Kaveri, and this is there. I don't know whether right kind of ecosystem or not. I have sent a message to advisor India. And Government of India is also trying. And chip, it is not only for, as rightly told, for it is a very revolutionary control on the chip manufacturing. Why don't you startup TIPCO will support. If the seed is not there, we will support. For this particular, this one, we will take is a personal case, we will take it further. You get into the field. Thank you.
With this note, I would like to invite Professor Krishnaveni, I think former Dean of Tiruvallur, and Madam newly joined as Director for IOM. Madam, please come here. Your view about how you are working on a GPS and GI based system, it will be another title to the drone entrepreneurs. Please have your views. Madam Merlin, Dean of Tiruvallur campus.
Hello sir, hello. Good afternoon to all the dignitaries on the dais and dear students. Actually, I am a civil engineer and hydrologist, and during my PhD I started using the GIS system. From 92 onwards I am working with remote sensing and GIS, and if you are working with that, then definitely our spatial thinking will be improved. So after that, the geotechnology in Solomon, all these things will come into picture: remote sensing, GIS, and then your GPS technology, and then the latest one is the drone technology. So drone technology will be useful, very much useful in the case of where we cannot, like remote sensing only. Remote sensing operating from a remote place, but drone technology we ourselves can manage it. So especially for water resources side, we can use it for drought monitoring, flood monitoring, and then flood damage assessment. As well as we have a separate course on agricultural and irrigation system. Now only it was suspended, but we have offered for more than 14 years. So for agricultural also, it has drone technology has a very good application for pest management and detection, drought monitoring, where exactly we can identify the hotspot areas of agricultural, that is for example drought affected area, leaf area management, and then pest attack. Then another application is this one, that is we can apply the fertilizer and because if you see manually they are applying and they got some disease also. Instead we can apply we can have the sensor system at the ground level itself, and we can detect the soil fertility, NPK and all using the sensor, and this is called precision farming. So based on that we can also tune that drone, and then the exact amount of fertilizer also we can apply, like that also we can do. And for this is in the case of fertilizer application and pesticide we need not apply to everywhere, only the detection, that is the hotspot area we can apply it. So through drone survey you can exactly point out the hotspot area, and you can do the fertilizer application or pesticide application. This is in case of agriculture. And recently I have studied we can apply it on ocean technology also. So now I am heading the Institute for Ocean Management. In that also we can identify the fishing potential areas, and then harbor area identification. Like that, by flying the drone we can get the information about the areas, and by processing it we can do so many applications also. Now I am finding it because now since I have to do just for my own department, so I am seeing what are the areas in which the drones can be applied. Previously actually I wanted to work with Professor Sendil Kumar also, but now only I am getting the time for that. Flood modeling also another area. During flood and all we can't do the ground survey and all. The only thing is the remote sensing and the ground. The drones are the main thing, and so many areas the drone is finding its application. So we can also do wonders. So thank you sir, thank you.
Executive Director of CASR, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to everyone gathered here. It's my pleasure to present a vote of thanks in this great occasion. First of all, I want to say thanks to our director for giving me this opportunity in this great occasion. Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries and my dear friends, today we started the drone festival successfully. And at present, we hope that there is no possibility of landing because space is our limits. Okay. So with that words, I express my sincere thanks to our beloved Vice Chancellor for his participation in the event and for giving the inaugural address. Next, I want to express my sincere thanks to Registrar for granting the permission to conduct this event successfully. So whenever we approach the Registrar and Vice Chancellor, they are kindly accepted our request and took forward to the next level. Thank you, sir. And I express my sincere thanks to Dean MIT campus for his valuable suggestions, guidance and help to conduct this event successfully. And also we express thanks to for providing the warm welcome address. And I express our heartfelt thanks to today's inaugural chief guest, Shri Dubey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, for accepting our request and participated in this great occasion. And I express my sincere thanks to Shri Mailsavi Annathrai sir, Vice Chairman, Tamilnadu State Council for Science and Technology, for his valuable suggestions and guidance through this, not only this event, but also our day-to-day regular activities of the CASR. Thank you, sir. And I express sincere thanks to Professor Bhaskar, Director CTDT, and Professor Balasubramaniam, Additional Director CTDT, Technology Enablement Center, for their support and help to conduct this event successfully. And I express sincere thanks to Valedictory Function Chief Guest, Dr. Sandeep Mitte, IPS, ADGP, Coastal Security, Tamilnadu Police, for his immediate acceptance to participate in this program, even though in spite of his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. And I express sincere thanks to Shri Ilangavar sir, Senior General Manager TIDCO, and Shri P. Krishnamurthy sir, Project Director TIDCO, for their continuous support, engagement and help for our CASR project. Thank you, sir. And I express sincere thanks to industry people, those who have come over here for their presence and participation and provided their feedback what next activities to be taken for this drone technology development. Thank you, thanks to everyone. And I express heartfelt thanks to our Daksha team members for their teamwork, support to organize this event successfully. Guys, without you, everything is a dream only. Thank you, guys. And I express sincere thanks to everyone, those who are directly and indirectly involved in this event successfully. Thanks to everyone. Last but not least, I express my sincere thanks to Director CASR for his valuable suggestions, support and help throughout the overall 20 years, because almost we traveled 20 years in this drone technology. Thank you, sir. So once again, thanks to everyone for participating in this program. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we have come towards the end of today's event. I thank everyone for gathering today for the TNDTF 2021. Once again, we show our gratitude to our sponsors, Tamilnadu Industrial Development Corporation, TIDCO, Daksha, Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, CASR-RPTO, Zupa, Airfly, Aerospace R&D, E-Plane, Planetex, Anadix, Maptree, EOS, Kaveri Aerospace for their wholehearted support.
Thank you, Shri. Definitely, this event was a great experience for all of us. We gained a lot of information and ideas through this event. My sincere thanks to all present here and the volunteers for making this event a successful one. Let us end this event with the national anthem. All are requested to rise for the national anthem.
Jaya He
Thank you everyone.